Hi, everybody. Welcome to FNS Wrestling Podcast, episode 185. We're back down in the basement, late on a Friday night. Jack is slurping a juice box and...
That I am.
Analyzing a new Star Wars figure of his.
No, this one's not new. This is the other one that's better.
But we're back. We're going to talk about some Dynamite. We'll start out with reviewing Royal Rumble, right? After the news.
Yep.
Dynamite, NXT. Maybe a little bit of Raw. Did you find some stuff?
I didn't, and I'm waiting to see on SmackDown.
SmackDown is occurring as we speak.
There's some Pete Dunne, because he is MIA ever since his triumphant return.
You might have heard about that on here.
You may have.
One of us is big. Well, we're both big Pete Dunne fans, but
I just vocalize it better than you.
Taking it to the next level.
I vocalize it better.
Your love of Pete Dunne.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know. You just are, as we've talked about, coming off basically a week off of school because you didn't have many exams, and I'm
currently fearing for my life next semester.
Next semester is going to be a tough one for you. But wrestling-related banter, I ordered you randomly a pack of stickers from Temu.
Actually, some decent ones. Like one of the first ones I saw was Adam Cole, Bebe, which is
I think it was like 50 stickers or something for like $3 and something. And it ranges from like them dancing around copyright violations to like
just giving me straight up logos.
One says Bray Wyatt on it, right?
Well, there's one that's like the old SmackDown logo, like the original SmackDown logo, or the Southpaw logo, like straight up,
Like they are not hiding it at all.
No,
but some of them are kind of cool.
Some of them are not subtle.
Oh, did you see, look around the corner there, the Lucha Mask sticker that I bought is up there. It was kind of cool. It was also like a couple $, and I stuck it up on the wall.
Need to replace the basketball jerseys with something.
I like the basketball jerseys.
Unrelated.
Yeah, but it's just
anything.
It's my space, so I put whatever I want in here.
It's gross.
Support your brother's lovely basketball career. I went and coached his school team and the girls' team at his school this week. That was a little different than pretty high level rep ball I'm used to with your brother.
Yeah,
elementary kids that don't play.
I would struggle with that if I'm like lowering yourself so much.
Yeah, it's fun because you can back it up to real basics, which is probably what I'm better at, to be honest.
I guess so. I guess there's that. Honest. Yeah, that's fair.
Like I can take them from knowing nothing to really helping them out, right? So that's
fair.
That's rewarding. But yeah, I don't know.
Probably easier than that.
Not much else going on this week. The news will be somewhat better. Well, I guess it's continuing from the disgusting.
We're still feeling the fallout.
I was telling you, a listener contacting me and saying that because of you, they started reading the court documents and did not enjoy Mark.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was no.
Yeah.
I read probably 20 pages deep into the 67-page court document.
It's not cool.
And it's one of those things where it sounds cliche, but honestly, you think it can't get worse, and then you go to the next page. And it's quite literally the definition of snowballing. Like,
the depth of
his
depravity, allegedly. Of course.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. But no, there's still fallout from that.
There is. That'll probably come up, but I don't know what else.
I haven't really done much. I went out on Tuesday and I got one of the Bad Batch guys for no reason, just because it was there. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start getting the Bad Batch figures.
Which is the most recent Star Wars cartoon series, right?
Yeah, the most recent animated one.
But not like a kid's one or anything.
No, I'd say it's like in between, I guess. I don't know.
Muted my mic for that.
And I've been rewatching it. I just finished.
Yeah, because the new ones are coming up.
Yeah, and the new season looks awesome. My boy Crosshair, is the best one. But and I was finishing the second season. It's so annoying because he was in episode 3, super prominently. Then he's gone until episode 12, and it's just I find him to be the most interesting one, and they deprive me so much. But so then I got tech here, and then I'm going to try to hunt down the other ones now, because once you get one, you got to
you're a collector
go down the rabbit hole.
Collections, as I described.
Although I was saying to you, I will avoid Omega, who's the worst.
You will. And actually, the trailer did look cool. I know I watched it with you. It did make it look like it's pretty good.
And I peeped out my boy Crosshair a couple times, so he'll be back in his true form.
Right.
But no, so that looks good. I've been watching that. Nate also found Lost and Found on
oh my god,
on other sites. So I spam watched that. I took a break from Bad Batch for 2 days just to speed through that. And it's it did get canceled.
You love the nostalgia stuff from when you were a kid.
Yeah, I still love kicking it. I love kicking it dearly. That's one of my favorite shows, and I know it's not good.
Lost and Found just stopped, because it never. I guess never wrapped it up.
They didn't pick it up after the second season.
That's too bad. You guys love that show.
Yeah, and it's I think it's pretty good for something Netflix made that's for
it holds up better than a lot of the kids shows you watch.
For sure. And it's one of those ones where they made a lot of original music. We talk about that a lot with Bob's Burgers. every episode there's original music, and I think genuinely some of the songs on that show are good. Especially I like the ones by like the guys band because it's more my style as much as that show's gonna be.
On the Lost and Found.
Yeah. So like there's that, but it's one of those things where it does suck to watch because there's all these things that are unresolved and will never be resolved.
If you haven't seen it, it's basically, I guess it's targeted at teens or tweens,
it's
probably.
Like a music college,
and
it's like some sort of campus.
It's like an elite music school almost, right? Where
it's
super talented people go and
it's cool.
Engage in teenage drama.
As far as Netflix things go, it's good. It's really hard to find though. I had to watch the first season on whatever site Nate found.
Yeah.
And then I found the full second season on YouTube, but it sounded kind of weird.
I found one of my favorite shows that disappeared off Netflix on YouTube as well.
Toast of London?
No, I wish. Toast of London is on there. It is on there. No, it's called People Just Do Nothing. Where if you like The Office, you should check it out. It's basically The Office, but they're like British rappers who are like super dedicated to a genre of music that is no longer in style, but they think they have a pirate radio station that probably broadcasts a few blocks, but they think they're like the most important, coolest. It's awesome. Just an adventure in obliviousness, like Steve Carell. There's basically characters that are like Dwight. And
similar archetypes,
right. So anyways, it's a good show, and it's all on, I think Popcorn put it up because it's an actual thing.
TV talks.
It's good.
I didn't watch any random matches this week. I didn't mean to, but I was watching Bad
I still haven't hit the worst of, so that's my fault, but we'll get there.
Oh yeah, that is not my fault.
It's not.
Just sit back here and blame you.
Take no blame.
Yeah.
But anyways, we should probably get into talking about wrestling because we got a lot to talk about.
That we do.
So let's get into the first segment every week where we quickly take a look at hopefully some better news, but not really because there's still fallout. It's some of the week's wrestling news and rumors. All right, so quickly ratings before we get into some of the meatier stuff this week. NXT averaged 648,000 viewers, up 0.9%, so almost the same. Earned a 0.18 in the key demo, down 5.3. Second lowest demo rating since August. Dynamite, 818,000 viewers, down 2.3%, or earned a 0.26 in the key demographic, down 3.7. So 3 out of 4 down this week. Don't know what it means, but now you know. What do you have for us?
Let's see. I gotta scroll back up. First thing, which a lot of people will find sad, but I feel like there will be no sympathy here.
I don't know what you're
CM Punk
to.
Out with the triceps injury suffered in the Royal Rumble match to miss WrestleMania, and I found a funny tidbit related to that. Additionally, I saw a story that Thunder Rosa said, of course, Thunder Rosa, who we love as a person and a wrestler. Anyone who doesn't feel bad for him after the promo on Raw is a psychopath. I guess I'm a psychopath. It was some emotional promo BS on Raw that I don't care about.
And of course, I doubt his sincerity all the time anyway.
I doubt his sincerity, and also I do not feel bad for him after everything.
Too bad. I don't like people getting injured, but
I find it pretty funny, especially because he did this.
Teenage me would too.
He had a triceps injury before Brawl Out too. So,
but now as someone who's had serious injuries, I got a bit of empathy.
It's still funny, and then also the promo in the promo, Drew McIntyre came in. One of the things he said was, "I prayed for this to happen," and it did. And
I saw him working his triceps out too, and
he's so funny.
Yeah, man.
I know it's kayfabe, but Drew's like my avatar in this situation because I have no sympathy for him, and Drew's all over that. So I think it's really
hot
funny
right now, man.
That's what I'm saying. He should have. I would have been fine with him winning the Rumble. I thought he's doing really great, and I hope.
He did. We haven't talked about it yet.
Okay.
Because nobody knows it was a week ago, and people still are waiting for us to tell them.
Punk being out opens the door for Drew, because I would love for Drew to get his title win in front of people.
If you need to substitute someone in, he's ready.
Even if he's a heel, I just really want him to get that title win in front of people that he deserves, because he carried the company on his back during probably the worst time to do so.
Yep, so, no fans saw him.
And he's doing really great right now, I think. So props to him. So that was awesome. But Punk's out. Boo-hoo. Don't care.
Yeah, and that'll be lengthy. Triceps injury. So
yeah, he's out missing. I think it was 3 to 4 months.
He'll be back to win next year's Rumble.
4 to 6, I think. Maybe, I don't know.
And then they're going to use him sparingly. They're going to put him on like a Roman Reigns plan because
they should.
He gets hurt a lot right now.
Not even that. I think they'll put him on the Edge plan because Edge would come back sparingly, do like a feud for a bit, and then he would go. And that's part of why he left, right? Because he wants to wrestle more like he is now.
I think he'll be around to cut promos and stuff, but they'll put him on ice.
No wonder he wrestled one house show against Dom, and then he's been cutting promos the whole time since the Rumble because literally his first match back, he's out.
Right.
Which that's what I find funny is like, and he's complaining about in AEW working with like children and whatever, but he can't go. So, like, what's your deal? You know? Like, it's funny.
Couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Yeah, no sympathy.
One of those things.
No sympathy for the devil.
Commentary shakeups, right? As you pointed out last week, what's his face got
Kevin
fired.
Patrick.
So, have you heard the new alignments?
Well, I told you about Raw because we love it.
Yeah, but I will. So I'll start with that. Yeah, it's McAfee again.
Yeah.
And
he was
Cole.
on SmackDown with Cole, so it's the same team that was on SmackDown a while ago.
At least it's 2 people, or are they having a third? Because I like the idea of 2.
Just one of them's McAfee. So.
And SmackDown, you heard that is Corey Graves going quote unquote promotion, I guess, to lead commentator.
Okay, good for him.
With Barrett doing color.
Who? Barrett?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, I like Barrett. Barrett's pretty good.
So my hope is...
Those are solid duos, though.
Again, 2-man booth, that.
I like that.
And Graves used to be awesome. And then he got into those antics and whatever, so I'm hoping as the play-by-play guy, maybe he reverts back, because he was really good when he started. Don't him and Barrett
kind of have the same role? Like, wasn't Barrett also a play-by-play kind of guy?
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes.
I don't mind that, yeah.
No. I like the idea of 2-man, because that third person, at least the way WWE does it, contributes nothing ever.
They're the Byron Saxton, or like the third person's always the one I hate, like Coach, Booker T, Beth Phoenix, Percy Watson.
Because there's nothing they're gonna say that the other 2 can't or haven't.
If NXT Black and Gold had just Nigel and Morrow, I would love that, because those are like, that's probably my favorite duo.
But they love the 3-person booth for some reason, so hopefully that era is over.
They're all over the
Vince era.
Booth. Yep. More Rumble stuff is after the Rumble returns, Andrade he's signed to Raw in kayfabe, and then Naomi has been signed to SmackDown, where the Bloodline is.
I also heard she's still going to be doing some TNA stuff.
She's on TNA next week, which is, I think that's fine if they're doing the working partnership, but I think it's specifically weird in her case because she has a different name.
Right.
So I think that's the weird thing to me, but if they're doing a kind of partnership, it's interesting. And I think it's really funny because WWE has history of burying some of their people and also ignoring them for years.
And just generally never wanting to acknowledge another company other than to crush them. So for them to be, Vince era's over, man.
That's true. That could be easily part of it, because at most they've worked with ECW for a little bit, AAA for a little bit, and like was the SWS, some Japanese promotion, for like a little bit. So they've barely worked with people. It's not like it's never happened, but it's very sparingly.
Right.
And then Mickie James showed up in 2022, right? That one time.
Right. To go back to sort of the disgusting news from last week, we've got some people now reacting. John Laurinaitis being one, who's basically, the gist of it that I got is
Victim
he doesn't
card.
seem to be really denying much, but saying like, I was also an employee being abused. You know what I mean?
How is he abused?
That's the angle he's going to say is, look at all of it. It's all like it's all about you have to do whatever, or Vince fires you or makes your life hell or whatever. I'm in that boat too.
Yeah, I'm sure he had a real rough time.
Right.
And
so
it really doesn't sound
interesting
like
that he doesn't even seem to, because Vince's thing is that this didn't happen. These are blah, blah, blah.
That is
Laurinaitis is kind of like, well, if it were to, hypothetically, if all of this were true, I'm just a victim too.
I don't think so.
I know. But that's the angle. He has to find an angle, right?
That's true. That's true.
And then his, what are they, stepdaughters?
Yes.
Finally commented too. The Nikki and Brie Garcia, I think they are now, right?
Yep.
We are shocked and disheartened by recent allegations against members of the WWE. It has been a lot to process since we found out this past week.
I would say, how would
just
they know?
As you all did.
But in their defense, they haven't been involved with the company in a while. So it's not like they have any reason to be up on this, because Laurinaitis, like, it could be defensible that he wouldn't want them to know. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, and it's also defensible that they haven't been involved
in a while. But it also
seems
like they weren't doing a very thorough job of hiding any of this.
That's true, but I mean, who's to say if it's just their stepfather that they're around much? I don't know. I feel like it's somewhat defensible for them.
But the main point seems to be the whole, like, we found out last week like you. Like, that's what they're really hitting.
That's,
right?
Yeah, it does seem a little phony to me, but I feel like it's pretty defensible for them just because...
I hope they didn't know anything.
I don't think they would have.
Because they're going to need to... Because now, like, just to sort of talk about it all, I guess, there's criminal investigations now happening.
Yeah,
like
now it's like on a federal
stuff.
level, which is insane.
This is big time. But anyways, that's all I have related to that gross stuff, and then I have one other thing.
We're
but
free,
you go ahead.
Well, kind of related is, I guess, Lesnar is... So he was supposed to be in the Rumble, and his apparent replacement was Braun Breaker. So to think the one call-up I would have bet on almost didn't happen.
And they say that, like, beat for beat, he got...
Basically what Lesnar would have done.
But then you mentioned a good point about the elimination, right?
He got thrown up by Dom. So
was Brock Lesnar? There's no universe where he's agreeing to be eliminated by Dom.
He faced Omos at Mania last year, so was he meant to face Dom Mysterio? Right. Like, I don't know. And then also I think he got pulled from WWE Supercard or whatever, and so 2K are like kind of keeping him on the low. I mean, it's definitely too late. Like, he's probably in the game. He's probably in the showcase
still
mode.
On the roster page, because I was doing some research for trivia today, so I was on their roster page. He was still there.
Okay, so
as of like 7:30 tonight.
But they're definitely gonna keep his name on the down low.
I would think so.
That makes like
it's gonna be. We were saying it's gonna be really hard to scrub Vince and Brock. Because Vince was in everything.
And Brock.
And with as much as they love to lean on the Attitude Era, like...
Vince is huge for the Attitude Era.
Is the Attitude Era.
That's like now 3 Rumble winners you can't really mention. Lesnar, Benoit, Vince.
You could argue he is the most important figure of that era. Like, it's probably Austin.
And Austin, and yeah, basically. Right? And Lesnar, he's not my favorite, but he's had some really good matches. And
yes.
Like him, love him or hate him, he's huge, and
it's
going to be weird
to refer to him because he has mainstream appeal. People outside of wrestling know who he is, or did. I don't know if he's still got
super.
The same.
It'll be super weird if he's not around anymore. Because
you won't mind though.
I won't really care after a while. It's just it'll be super weird for a while, just because. I don't know, I'm used to him showing up every now and then and having some sort of big match against somebody and then
being gone for months.
Going back to his farm. But I guess he'll just stay on the farm with Sable, and I wonder how she
feels about all. She has not weighed in, to my knowledge, on this.
I'd be interested to know.
My last one is a re-signing for New Japan, which I think is good on the heels of Okada leaving,
and
right?
Tama Tonga.
It is Hiromu Takahashi. So
Time Bomb.
He is pretty awesome. So hopefully they sort of focus on him. If they have a little bit of space to make new stars, he should be one they probably look at.
Yeah, you could go maybe up to the global title or something.
Everybody seems to like him. So.
Something above junior heavyweight, or maybe, I don't know if his junior heavyweight is the ceiling for him.
I think he needs to get out of that division.
Some guys, it's their ceiling.
It is.
Some guys end up being like...
Even Shingo, they moved him up for a bit, and then I don't know what they're doing with him
He's mostly never open weight right now, but some guys, it's like they're stuck in the junior division, or some guys end up being like Balor or Omega, who have gone far beyond that, obviously.
That's right. Well, I got nothing else.
Last one was Trick Williams is viewed as a possible main eventer after he made the save for Mello on SmackDown. I think it was last week. And SmackDown officials were blown away by the reaction. Like, he got a good reception, and the crowd were doing like the whoop that trick thing.
Like, I don't know if they knew, because sometimes they're like, nobody watches NXT.
Well, I'm surprised. Like, that's like a full arena doing that, though, and it's different than like just a little CWC, you know what I mean?
No, he is super hot right now, and I know you're not a huge fan in ring, and I don't think he's Daniel Bryan or anything, but he's good enough. He's good enough to be pushed on main roster. I feel like there's a whole bunch of NXT people that are... Well, you just said Stratton's gone, right? So I feel like Perez isn't long for NXT. Ilya's probably not long for NXT. Mello's basically already gone. Sounds like Trick's on the short list, right?
Yeah. So, I think, because Mello's had a few matches now, so Mello's as good as gone. It's just,
I think so.
I feel like they're waiting to pay off the storyline, and
I agree, and I think that's happening Sunday, which I'm gonna watch.
Well, even after that, you still do the split, so I say it pays off Mania weekend.
Like, but they officially split on Sunday, and then the aftermath for however long.
And then you do, I think you pay that off at Mania. You have Mello go up then, and Trick, I say he could maybe go up by the end of the year. I think he'd still need some work, but like, you keep him decently high, and he can go up eventually, because I feel like you still need some work with him.
He could use some more seasoning.
He's not perfect, especially that knee strike. You need to get rid of that.
The Trick knee, you're not a fan.
It's bad.
Well, let's move into some reviews because we got a lot to talk about. So we're going to go back almost a week in time and quickly review for you one of the big 4 pay-per-views in WWE. Sorry, PLEs.
PLE.
And that is this year's Royal Rumble. All right, sir, we'll see how this goes because as I wrote down, it's my half-assed cell phone notes because I was just like jotting things down on my cell phone. So hopefully I may have to make some complete thoughts of incomplete thoughts, or you may have to fill in some gaps for me, but it might be fun. A couple general notes. Black Keys theme song. I love Black Keys. I like the song.
Yeah, good for them.
They tried really hard to kill it though, eh? They just play it.
They play it so much. They do that a lot of the time.
And you never hear the whole thing, so it's annoying.
It's always the same parts. Usually like the chorus or like whatever sounds the best for like...
Good song, good band, but they try hard to kill it on these shows.
They do their best.
You noticed right away they spoiled Roxanne Perez's debut.
So they were like... It was really funny. They were showing the 4 people in the world title match getting ready, and so Orton's like coming in as they're doing like screen tests, and they were doing Roxanne Perez. So it's like, why, if you know you're filming, why wouldn't you test someone who we know is there?
Vince would be firing people.
Yeah,
back in the day.
That's a funny. I mean, it doesn't really matter because I think she's been in a Rumble before. She was in last year, I think, but like, still, it's just funny to me.
And McAfee shows up, you are thrilled.
It's just the first thing they do. They did this last year too.
Yep, they did. So only 4 matches on this. I'll go through the notes I have. We'll see if we can make sense of them, decipher them. Women's Royal Rumble is first, and my first note, Jack is annoyed that Natalya is first.
That was lame.
They waste no time with a surprise. Naomi comes in at number 2, right? So that
was nice. I popped for that.
Are you pulling up our...
I should.
Predictions? I know we already know who won, but I'm sure you're going to want to talk about it.
Oh, yeah. It was... I will say...
It came down to the wire.
That was fun, at least.
It was.
It came
That's
down
why
to
I was
the wire.
happy we made different picks, or at least ranked.
I liked how it came down for sure. That doesn't really spoil anything.
So Bayley comes out as number 3. She was my pick to win it, so I'm kind of worried because that's a long road for her, but still felt possible to me. I won't go over the order of everybody coming in. Notables, though, Jordan Grace shows up at number 5. I was very surprised.
I popped for that.
She looked great, just in terms of the way she looks, and with the championship she was actually allowed to wear.
The belt is beautiful,
so and she had a decent showing. I thought she could have looked stronger.
And also, while we're on the topic of this, because I remember seeing a tweet like after we made our picks, obviously I couldn't really, which kind of sucks, but like that the TNA partnership would pay dividends here. Really, it was only her and Naomi. Like the men, it was. I was expecting something. Once they pulled out Jordan Grace, I was like, oh, okay, they're gonna pull
Josh
Alexander, Shelley, Moose, someone like that. No one, which
Moose would make
was
sense
kind of disappointing. Yeah, just bring at least both their champions or something. I was really hoping for Josh Alexander, if I'm being honest.
So then we get. What did I say? Oh, Jordan Grace at number 5. She should be throwing out the dead weight while looking dominant. I wasn't thrilled that she was she looked pretty good, but her
elimination was at least sick.
But then again, they're not going to make someone from another company look awesome. I don't think, really.
Not overly, at least.
So I don't dueling stalling suplexes by Grace and Mike. So I don't know what Ivy the typo. Nile. There we go, Nile, and it auto corrected. So I was using my phone.
Yeah.
This is the deciphering. Good. 3 of damage.
I'll do my best.
3 of damage controller in early. Both Chance and Carter are in by 13. So we've got some like little groups and pairings there. Kairi Sane with their little Spider-Man thing there. That was her, right?
That was really cool.
It was.
That got a reaction from me because it's like, so she's grabbing on like because she's on one of the sides of the LED screen. So there's like that little black cover that's on the sliver, and she's like holding on that, and her feet are against the LED board, and her toes are like right above the floor. And eventually she fell out, but which I thought might have been a botch.
Me too. I have botch question mark.
They also tossed out Asuka, which made me think it was planned.
Right.
Because they're both out now. Bailey's alone.
Memorable spot, though. So that's cool.
Yeah, so that was really cool. And it was a nice kind of Kofi-esque spot, which Kofi was in this year, right? I don't remember him doing anything.
Me either.
I guess that thing's dead now ever since he botched it.
Oh, I think I make reference to the fact that it didn't happen when we get there.
Yeah, because I don't remember it.
Jordan Grace gets eliminated when she takes KOD on the apron.
That was cool. At least she got a cool elimination because that looked awesome.
Niven's making her entrance and ends up catching Green, right? And saving her from being eliminated, I believe.
Oh, yeah, Piper. Okay, yeah.
Vega has crazy entrance gear. I don't even remember what it looked like now, but it must have been.
Yeah, it was some like
it was huge.
Mechanical wing thing.
Oh,
it's
right.
It's something gang. She's like really animated. Like she's done like a lot of Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat before.
Yeah.
Remember the one time
she does. She
in a Rumble
like
she came out as Vega,
right?
Which is that one's funny.
So commentary, I thought this was super funny. Tell us how, quote, heavily improved Maxine is.
That was funny.
And then immediately looks awful.
She was bad.
I think there was a head scissors thing that looked terrible.
That was it. This was the first time I think I've actually seen her in a match, and she was bad, man.
And it was just like the heavily improved.
Who's to say she's not heavily improved?
True.
She could have been like abysmal before.
And heavily improved is just their like dog whistle way of saying not very good.
Yeah.
Like that's what that means.
Which is true.
Nia Jax comes in and gets, in my opinion, the treatment Jordynne Grace should have, right? She just starts dominating.
I was annoyed at how good she looked.
Her presentation in this, she was...
Or like how good she was made to look.
Yes.
And, she also tossed out Shayna Baszler, which absolutely pissed me off. Because I knew Baszler wasn't winning, but like...
Give her a showing. Let her dominate.
A, give her a showing, and B, for her to get tossed out by her former tag partner who's so far beneath her. Like, Nia Jax is horrible, man. And I know you agree.
I agree.
Baszler is amazing. We've always loved Baszler.
I do love Baszler.
And Nia's horrible. Like,
Baszler
she's always
to AEW dominate the women's division. We've talked about it a million times.
Baszler could be a savior for the division. I mean, hey, we got Deeb back, so there's at least that.
Some fan yells so loudly that commentary have to acknowledge it, and I don't remember what it was.
Oh, it was something.
This is what you get with
like
the
yelling at somebody.
Cell phone notes.
I swear he was like yelling at Bailey or something. Maybe I don't know. It was funny.
Nia slams Piper Niven, impressive, on top of Chelsea, but didn't get all of it.
Chelsea got like beat.
She did,
which is kind of funny.
Maxine, this note's great. Maxine with the reverse caterpillar, and Jack does not want to talk about it.
It was bad.
It was bad.
It was so stupid.
Jack's that classic, I think, dumb-looking power spot. She shoves everybody off of her.
That looks so stupid. There's like 10 people on her, and she's like, "Are you kidding me?"
Jax eliminates...
This before or after Cargill came in?
Before.
Okay.
Jax eliminates Niven, then Katana Chance. So, again, they made Nia Jax look really strong
For here. What? Like, you could have done that with Baszler or Jordynne Grayson or like Cargill. I don't know.
Becky Lynch, when she comes, she beelines right for Nia Jax. Then spend some time dominating everybody, and before Lynch eliminates Chelsea Green. Alba Fire is in at 22, and she gets a nice run too. A nice touch I don't remember seeing before. I think you liked it too. They put up a graphic with the times of people in the match.
That was cool. I like that.
Apparently,
they always
there was
mention that after.
I heard there was a more in-depth version on the website. Like they had everybody's time listed.
That would be interesting.
Baszler's 23. Jack celebrates. She dominates for a little bit here. And then remember this, Michael Cole, I was going to say Adam Cole, is so happy that Valhalla is wearing antlers.
I was laughing my ass off.
I don't know what that's a reference to, but clearly it's something, and as people who don't watch main roster, we must have missed something.
I found it so funny, because I was like, what are you on about?
Like, out of context, it was super strange.
It was super funny, though, because it was like, I'm like, what are you talking about?
So R-Truth, then a comedy spot here, runs past her and gets in the ring, and Nia throws him out. And then Valhalla immediately as well. Naomi eliminates Alba Fire, and this made me laugh. Pat McAfee says the dark arts didn't work for her tonight. For Alba Fire, that's kind of funny.
That's funny.
Zoe Stark in at 26. Jack likes her theme.
Her theme's good.
She gets a stretch to look good.
There's so many times where you just don't know who it is until they come out. But
well, that was...
that's one of the ones I knew.
I've heard a lot of comments about this Rumble is evidence of how generic the entrance
That's
theme.
Fair. Some
even showed a clip of Rollins sitting up in the rafters and clearly not recognizing who people were right away. So it's a problem.
There's some I recognize, and very few of them stand out. Some of them do, but very few.
And you know more than most people. Roxanne in at 27, no surprise there, as it was telegraphed.
I just laughed when she came out, because at that point I knew.
She hit a nice satellite head scissors to Stark, where she like flips around her several times. It looked good. Nia Jax eliminates Baszler, and Jack is furious and hurts his hand punching the chair.
I did do that. I hit the chair. I hit the armrest, and the armrest on the chair is really hard. Not unjust.
Nia Jax eliminates a couple more for 8 total.
Why? Like, just why?
She's a monster. Jade in at 28.
In some ways,
to earn me a point. She and Jax face off. She picks up Nia Jax, flexes, and then dumps her on the mat, picks her up again, and eliminates Nia Jax. So that's a strong spot
at
for
least there's
Jade,
that.
Right?
At least they kind of used her for Cargill, I guess.
She took out someone who just dominated a bunch of other people. So that's good. Stratton's in at 29. Jack is happy. That must have been one of your picks.
Picks. Yeah, so my surprise picks were, what was it? Sasha, no. But Trinity and Tiffany I got, yes. And then you got...
AJ Lee.
You got Jade.
I took a swing, man.
And I'm honestly, I'm surprised there was no Trish. I would have banked on that. I almost did.
That one felt safe to me. I felt like I was being safe with that one.
And yeah, so credit to them, and I'll mention it now. No legends this year.
No.
Not even in the Women's Rumble. The Women's Rumble is usually like a Legends haven.
Right.
Nope. So,
yeah, because they have to fill it up with people.
So I'll give credit to them
Phoenix,
for like,
Lita.
I thought the surprises were good. Like Cargill, good. Naomi, good. Jordan Grace, good. I mean, I probably should say that for the end, but
that's okay.
It was good.
Immediate swanton onto everyone else from Stratton.
That looked good.
She had a good sequence here. Sky High to Lynch, Alabama Slam to someone, because I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Another surprise, not that we loved it, but Liv Morgan is in at 30, and Jack is disappointed. She eliminates Zoe with a forearm. Stratton eliminates Perez. We're shown Io's watching backstage and Ripley somewhere else doing the same thing. Belair and Jade Cargill press slam and stare down, and it was kind of cool. The crowd buzzed for that one. Like, that's clearly a matchup people want to see.
And both like powerful women of color. That's a nice little
it's cool
match. That'd be I think that's the Mania match you go with for Cargill.
I do too.
Because I think Belair's a perfect opponent for her. They're like similar, and Belair's more experienced. She could guide Cargill to a good match, and like Belair.
I think so. It felt like that's what they're doing.
I don't see Belair challenging for a title this year.
No.
So I think that's a worthy spot for her.
And the crowd wanted it, right? So the reaction was solid. Which
that's something you worked
overall, I'll say now, I don't think the crowd was amazing for this show.
No.
I don't think they heard it either, but
not like a banner.
I didn't find they were going, but I think it was like partially outdoor, so maybe some of the.
It is a huge venue, Tropicana Field.
Right. So that's, I think,
why do I
open
remember
air.
that? That's
So Jade swings Naomi to eliminate Becky, then Jade throws Naomi out too, so obviously she's getting a good push here. Stratton uses Belair's hair to stay in, right? Remember that? She's like hanging off of her hair.
Oh, that was cool. That got a reaction from me, because that can't feel good.
No, it can't feel good.
But that looked awesome.
And then Bayley comes along and eliminates both of them.
Cool for her.
So Bayley, Jade, Liv are the final three. We have a extended sort of battle, a little bit awkward on the apron there near the end.
Which I find this ironic, because 2 years in a row, Liv Morgan's had a wonky triple threat battle on the apron, and 2 years in a row, Liv Morgan's been the runner-up, because the same thing with Ripley, just it was done differently.
Because Liv ends up eliminating Cargill technically with what I guess was an Oblivion off the apron. I didn't think it looked
and then she gets
right.
No, it was kind of weird, but...
And then, unfortunately, like, just because I kind of like when there's a match at the end, like last year, remember
although
it was
at least it was
somebody?
Gunther and Cody.
Right.
At least this was like the match between the final three, and then it's like, so at least there's kind of
So Bayley immediately kicks out Liv, and Bayley wins and does she must and point at the Mania sign.
Do you got like a paper I can tally on? Because I'll keep that as I go.
Not on me. Well, what were your thoughts on this match?
Okay, I'll do that while you're looking, I thought this was pretty good, though. I think it's the second year where the Women's Rumble actually outshone the men's match.
I think it was my favorite match on the show.
I agree. I think they peaked early, and I think unlike other Rumbles in the past, it wasn't one where it's like it peaked early because the rest of the show was so bad.
No, it wasn't.
2022, they peaked at the beginning with Rollins and Reigns.
And the rest was garbage.
And the rest I hated and wanted to throw in a fire.
This show is totally
But this was good, though. I thought the surprises... Like, again, huge credit to them for not relying on legends this year. I really like that they relied on the roster they had, for better for worse, and I thought it turned out nice. And like all the surprises were good. Cargill's good, like love her or hate her, but I think she'll fare a lot better here. Trinity was cool. I'm glad she's back. So again, I think she'll fare better here. And Jordan Grace was really cool as well.
And they feel like they furthered or built some stories. Seems like Lynch is going after Jax, right? Cargill, Belair might be happening. I don't know. There's probably
and I think the win for Bayley's really cool, because I think
me too. I predicted it.
That was my second pick.
Yeah,
I still got that. So I'll tell you the points while you're doing that. But I'm happy for her, because I feel like she hasn't done something of note in a while. And kind of like Drew, she was one of the big heroes of the pandemic for them.
Yes, she was.
And also just being one of the four horsewomen, it's nice to see one of them back in the spotlight that's not Charlotte or even Becky lately. It's just nice. I feel like she's been kind of forgotten lately, so I'm happy for her, and I hope they do a good storyline with her and Io, because that seems like the way to go, obviously.
Yeah, I like this match. It held my interest. There's a few memorable spots in it. There's a couple stories at least that they sort of worked on, I think, and that's something good battle royals should do. Jordan Grace showing up was a surprise. I thought she looked good. Considering she's not a WWE talent, her focus is going to be limited, but I still thought she looked good. Trinity was the big return. Stratton was the NXT entrant, so they kind of covered all the bases.
Oh, right, yeah. And I was happy with Stratton, too.
And like they didn't, like you said, they didn't fill it with a whole bunch of legends. It was kind of like, even though you could argue that the one that looked really bad shouldn't have been in it,
Maxine.
Right. And
yeah.
Whatever. But
at least it's like current roster.
Right.
And
I like that.
They're using the people that they are using on TV anyways, right?
Right. Nia was a bit too much of a focus for me, but in the end, I think
for me,
it was partly to make Cargill look strong in eliminating her. So
that kind of helps it out for me for sure. When you put it like that, it's like at least it ends up helping Cargill.
It was a vehicle for something.
Yeah. So at least there's that.
I thought, yes, a bunch of it was standard battle royal, but you can't escape that.
I thought it was off to a wonky start. Because I remember the first bit, you were like, nothing of note's happening, but I thought it found its footing.
It did.
Well.
By the end, I thought it was good.
I thought like Kyrie spot was really cool. Strand hanging off of Belair was cool. Belair taking out Grace was really cool. Like there's some memorable moments in this one for sure.
The press slam stare down was cool.
Press slam, yeah. Then like this, even the stereo stalling suplexes with Grace and Niall. So there's some memorable stuff from here. I thought it was actually a pretty good Royal Rumble and definitely one of my favorite women's ones for sure.
I liked it better than the men's. I gave this 3 3/4 stars.
I agree. Yeah, for a Rumble, very good.
Yep, I enjoyed it. Then we get, again, only 4 matches, so we go right into the championship match.
I'm surprised this went before the U.S. title.
Me too.
Though.
It's Roman Reigns defending against LA Knight, Randy O'Ryan, according to my phone, and AJ Styles.
A match I could not care less about.
Very important first note. If you listen to one thing on this show,
Let it be this.
The cat sits with Jack. This is rare. Then she tries to attack him shortly after.
Yeah, it was weird. So, like, I don't remember what it was.
She is not a come sit with you cat.
She was though. I don't remember why she came up, but like then I scooch over my chair, so like I had enough room for her to like sit like squish between me and the armrest. And she was there for a while, and I'm petting her so that she'll stay there. And then after a while, she started getting like,
on you.
She turned on me. Yeah, it was really weird. She was getting like vicious, but she was still staying there for a while. And she got up, turned around, and like I don't know, it was weird.
She is always with us, but never sitting with
never
anyone.
Like with us.
She's always around.
And Styles finally wore tights again, like actual ring gear, because she's been wrestling like black pants.
Right.
It was like a pretty plain one, but I thought it was cool because it looked different. At least it was actual ring gear.
We watched this live, and the entrances took forever. I will say that.
Mainly, the main culprits are Orton and Roman, because I think Styles has a solid pace to him, but and LA Knight especially, he usually walks down pretty like
it's Orton and Reigns, man.
Yeah, Orton walks too slow. Reigns, at least he's got some gravitas to him, and I understand it to an extent, but like Orton, it's like, what are you doing?
And remember, McAfee is wutting Cole as Reigns makes his entrance, and it was super annoying. So the other 3 gang up on Reigns right away, but then they pair off pretty quickly. It's AJ and Knight and Orton and Reigns. The announce table gets used a bunch by Reigns and then Styles, culminating in Orton's head being smashed off of it repeatedly before he rallies and drops LA Knight on the table. I don't remember a lot of this. It's funny. Reigns.
I remember like 2 things.
Quick summaries: Reigns versus Orton, then Orton versus AJ. Then Knight dominates all 4 for a bit. Then you get Reigns versus Knight while the other 2 are on the floor. So slow with Reigns in control. Just this, I get this is his style. It doesn't mean it's appealing to people. It's not to me. Knight rallies, takes out Reigns and Orton. He does that leap to the top superplex that I thought looked pretty good.
Was it him or McAfee that messed it up a few times? I feel like it was McAfee.
Could be. Knight with the BFT to Reigns, but Styles falls on the pin attempt. Styles clash to Reigns. Knight breaks up that pinfall. RKOs for everybody. Orton covers Reigns. Sikoa pulls the ref out. It is no DQ, being a 4-person match. Samoan Spike to Orton. Samoan Spike to LA Knight. Knight and Orton get stacked up as a bit of a callback, right, to that whole stack 'em sort of
from Mania 37 with Edge and Bryan.
Right. Sikoa ends up crashing through the barricade when AJ Styles
that looked
moved.
Cool because he was ran
moving.
Through it.
He's a quick big man.
Yeah, he was charging through that.
Phenomenal forearm to Reigns, who falls on the pile. He tries to pin all 3, but no. AJ with a chair attack to Reigns, then Knight. But not
he's
Orton.
Dark now. He's in his goth phase.
Not Orton, who goes to AJ's eyes. Orton speared by Reigns. BFT attempt to Reigns shoved off. Knocks AJ off the ropes. Superman punch to Knight. Spear to AJ. Roman retains, and we're all shocked by that.
I was aghast. I was flabbergasted.
Thoughts on this match?
It's fine. It was. I really don't have much to say. I don't remember a lot of it. It was like, it wasn't a bad match, but it wasn't very interesting either, and it will not be memorable to me.
I thought the second half was better than the first. It kind of picked up. The result was never in doubt, right? So it's kind of really hard to get to.
I disagree. I wish I had picked this right. Just kidding.
There was some creative stuff in here. It ended up being a pretty entertaining 4-way match, but again, like, second match on the Rumble, there's no chance anyone but Reigns wins.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns can't win without help from his group again, as usual. So it's just kind of copy-paste Reigns matches at this point, I find. But still, some enjoyable stuff. I gave it 3.5 stars. I didn't think it was bad.
I will agree with that just because I don't care enough to think for myself here.
Appreciate the honesty. Next, we get Kevin Owens taking on Logan Paul for, what is that, the U.S. title?
The American one, yeah.
There we go.
I did notice later on that Paul had like stars and like I think he had the U.S. flag in gold on his vest, so that was a nice touch. At least he was wearing black and gold, and so he usually is yellow. So that was a nice differentiation, I guess.
This is where I complain that watching live and having to watch all the stuff between matches is painful because normally we could just skip.
Sometimes it's useful, I guess, because we don't.
When it's a recap of the storyline. It's usually helpful.
What was there a Slim Jim ad between?
They did. They did not pull out of the.
They came back. I guess,
briefly did
because TKO handled things. I guess.
I guess, yeah.
But Blair and Nelly Knight were in a Slim Jim ad. I don't remember much else.
Me either.
That was in between matches, but.
Owens is in control early. He Irish whips Paul into the barricade. Paul escapes to the floor, tries to attack Owens' hand. That would be a focus of this match, but Owen hits a senton. Paul eventually does start attacking Owens' injured hand. I have a note, cross moon combo by Paul. I think that's the crossbody moonsault, and that's what...
I don't even know what that means.
That's what commentary started. The follow-away moonsault slam.
Oh.
I think.
I don't remember him doing that.
Maybe it's not, but it literally was them calling it the cross moon combo. I made a note of it.
That's a weird name.
I thought so too.
Because I have so much trouble picturing that.
Followed by, this is not holding Jack's attention so far. Splits
what
leg drop.
Doing?
Just on your phone, probably. Splits leg drop by Logan Paul like Nikita Lyons? ? I thought that was a strange choice. Sick looking. My best guess is pump handle Ushigoroshi by Owens, followed by 2 cannonballs and a frog splash as the pace really picks up. Paul gets his knees up on a KO swanton, but then Paul misses his own swanton. Buckshot by Logan Paul and a splash for a 2 count. KO counters into an avalanche brainbuster. Paul fights out of the pop-up powerbomb and stunner, hits the titanium right hand for a near fall. This is
before the brass knocks, right?
Some guy shows up. That's Jeff. People stop him.
Yeah.
Who was Jeff? Is that one of Logan Paul's friends or something?
Yeah, I think Michael Cole kept referring to him as one of Paul's goons.
Right.
Which is fair.
Wallet, I assume I mean Waller, and Theory show up. Theory slips Logan Paul some brass knuckles, but Owens ends up taking them and using them. The ref counts 2 and then notices the knuckles on KO. So he gets disqualified, and Logan Paul retains.
It was a good, I thought he was actually in the pin here because I didn't see Paul kicking him.
I liked it. Then Owens snaps, power bombs Logan Paul through the announce table. The DQ match bothered some people. It did not bother me. I thought it was kind of creative way to get out of this.
But I thought it was well done. It's not on the level of Reigns and Rollins from 2022, which was probably one of my favorite DQ finishes ever. But I thought it was well done because I honestly did think Owens had it for a second. And I think it was a cool take because Paul's used the brass knucks a million times.
And they don't do it a lot on PLEs or anything, right?
Yeah.
I don't feel like. So.
And I feel like it's different also with the networks. It used to be you're paying full price for pay-per-view and then you get this. It's also not the main title, so it's different.
And I feel like this is prolonging things to Mania.
It's prolonging things, right? And also it's a different take on Paul with the brass knucks because he used it with Ricochet. He used it with Ray in Saudi, so he's used them a bunch of times. So at least there's a different way to incorporate those into his matches because he's been using those a lot to win.
Again, I thought this match was good. It wasn't outstanding, but the finish didn't bother me. I thought Owens picked up the pace in the second half of this. And I like the hand targeting. I always like targeting pre-existing injuries and stuff. And the DQ finish doesn't bother me at all. So I gave this 3.5 stars as well. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I think I liked it better than the last match, but also not something that'll be super memorable to me. But it was entertaining enough. I thought it had an inventive finish. So for that, I'll give it 3.5. Yeah.
Okay. Men's Royal Rumble. Last thing on it. Jey Uso's number 1, and then Jack calls it as Jimmy Uso is second. I
like that.
Feel like they did a lot with that.
They didn't. But I like that they did it.
A good action to start.
And it's memorable. Least. It's kind of it harkens back to one of the older Rumbles where both members of Demolition started. I think that was one of them, right? So I think it's a nice callback for that.
Waller is next. He has a mic and talks his way to the ring. And
I like
mocks
that.
Yeet.
Because sometimes we have mid-match Rumbles. I think didn't Punk do that when he was doing the SES, I think in 2010?
That makes sense. Yeah.
So I like when they do that. It's something else.
Rolling flatliner to Jay, and they double team Jay for a bit. Andrade is 4th. And Jack, you stole that pick from me straight up.
Yes.
You did. So we both got that one as well. Andrade delivers his back elbow to Waller right away. Double knees to Jimmy and Waller. Three Amigos get stopped by Waller. Mello's fifth. He goes after Waller. Codebreaker. Mello eliminates Waller. Nakamura in next, and he and Mello have a nice exchange early on. Escobar at 7, and his poncho game is strong. Nice pop-up gutbuster to Mello. Jack groans as Karrion Kross enters at number 8.
Sucks so hard.
Crowd hates Dom as he enters at number 9. He's still that.
Yeah, in like a big-ass stadium, he's getting booed incredibly.
Carlito pulls an apple out of his crotch and bites it. Interesting choice.
Yeah, I was like, really? The apple's in your pants?
Carlito eliminates Escobar. Lashley in white, so Jack is happy. A tiny bit of Lashley versus Vest on his way in.
I didn't catch that.
He spears people, eliminates Carlito, then Kross. So he's your hero now for getting rid of Karrion Kross.
And Kross takes him out, though.
AOP come down. Kross pulls Lashley out. They brawl on the floor. Street Profits even the numbers. Kaiser in at 12. I just have a note. He is so comfortable with his character. He's gotten really good. A lot,
yeah.
He's really good.
He could definitely pull off, like, his whole thing's the European elegance. He could pull off a character with that, too.
I forget what it is exactly, but Theory comes in and hits the ataxia because I made a note of the name.
It's like something where he like flips Mello into a flatliner. It's pretty crazy looking.
That looked cool. Balor in next immediately dumps Mello out of the ring. Cody's 15, Cody Cutter, and Theory is gone. Big Bronson Reed is next. Not to be confused with regular size Bronson Reed.
Regular size Rudy.
He Samoan drops Balor and Dom together, then eliminates Andrade, unfortunately.
I don't remember where it was, but there's the one elimination where Cody took out Nakamura with like a crossroads in the ropes.
Yeah.
And he like bounced off the second rope to get eliminated. I thought that was really cool looking. Like that was a creative elimination.
Yeah.
I thought.
Kofi is next, and it's his 16th Royal Rumble, second all-time to Kane, they tell us. It's impressive.
Crossroads. Now Kofi just needs to be a mayor.
There you go. Crossroads to Nakamura in the ropes.
I thought that was a really cool inventive one. Kind of like Belair.
Kofi eliminates Kaiser. Gunther is 18. He's not happy with Kaiser for getting eliminated, so they exchange words.
I thought he was going to chop him because he's done that before.
Gunther chops people, eliminates Kofi. No spot for Kofi this year. There's the reference.
Yeah, that was weird.
He did nothing, really. Ivar's 19. He showcases his power and agility before facing off with Reed. End up hitting a double crossbody. They both had the same idea. Braun Breaker's number 20. Spear to Jimmy. One of the Usos was going around trying to partner up with people, right?
Jimmy.
And everyone was
refusing. Because he's like kind of calming now. He's kind of stupid now. It's weird.
Breaker flies around the ring, eliminates Jimmy, then Balor, then faces off with Gunther and spears him. Omos is next, and Jack groans. That's a waste of a spot.
That is. That's one of their surprise entrants, and it's like Omos because he's like a free agent since the draft, but he doesn't do anything because he sucks.
Yeah. MVP is with him.
Still.
Omos eliminates Bronson Reed. Braun spear to Ivar, dumps him out. McAfee is next, a la Jerry the King Lawler from years ago.
Now this was a waste of a spot.
He teases eliminating himself and then does because he'd basically be facing off with Omos and Braun.
Yeah, so this was a waste of a spot. Like, you couldn't have thrown someone, or like, why not try to work out a TNA spot and have like Moose mix it up with them? Like,
they want to throw in the odd comedy spot, I guess. Whatever.
This was just a waste, though.
Braun eliminates Omos. Dom eliminates Breaker to get some heel heat there.
That was strange.
JD McDonough's next. Braun spears him before he can even enter. R-Truth is next. He sends McDonough in, and McDonough is immediately eliminated Jack size as the disrespect of JD McDonough continues.
I should have known better than to think he was. I was honestly, because I knew he was going to be in, because I saw him draw a number, I was legitimately waiting for him to come in. And it is worth noting, because I am me, he's back to using his Def Rebel theme. It's weird. So we're going to go on a bit of a diversion, because again, I'm me.
I'll have a drink.
When he came as Jordan Devlin, he was using this theme, which is titled Dragon at Jerusalem, which is like the first one where he was like dun dun, that one, and it's not made by them. It's like, I found it's like Extreme Sports themes. It's got like some snowboarder on there, so basically it's outsourced, and that was what he used in NXT UK. Then when he came to NXT Main, I think he was using that for a while, but then it's kind of like how they always change people's names so that they can own it.
Right.
They always give people new themes, so I guess like they can do it, or like they'll, even if it's a CFOS theme, they try to, because I guess they're not with CFOS, so they try to avoid that if they can.
Yes.
I think there's a few exceptions, like AJ Styles or Sammy. Because
they're iconic now.
Yeah. Or like, so yeah, then he got a new theme, and I like it better. I think, honestly, it's good, and I think it feels pretty similar to his original one, which I like, so it stands out. And then when he came to the main roster, for some reason he switched back to his old theme, like the Devlin one, which I thought was weird. Not complaining because it's a good theme, but like it's weird. And now he's back to the one that they made.
Pick one. Commit.
I like them both, but you gotta pick one. R-Truth
is doing Cena's shtick until Gunther boots him.
Kind of dumb, but it was kind of funny that he tagged in to fight Gunther.
Oh yeah, it was a hot tag, basically, right? In a Rumble.
I didn't like that it was on funny. Gunther.
Yeah.
But I did think it was kind of funny.
Miz is 25, and it's his 15th Rumble. And so we get the awesome Truth working for a second there.
Yeah, the fact that Miz has randomly turned babyface, it kind of irks me because Miz as a babyface has never worked. It's never made sense.
Never works. Damian Priest is 26. He eliminates R-Truth right away. Hits the South of Heaven to Gunther. Punk is 27. You're annoyed because you were born on the 27th. So you didn't appreciate that. Corner high knees to 4 people. Then he eliminates
He said high knee.
Ricochet 28. He flies around until Priest levels him with a clothesline. Gunther eliminates Miz with a chop. McIntyre's 29. He throws Ricochet across the ring with a belly-to-belly, then squares off with Damian Priest. Gunther pulls Jay over the top and out. Sami Zayn is 30. He goes after Drew. Drew flips Ricochet over the top. That looked cool. I don't remember why, but I made a note that it looked cool. Drew eliminating Ricochet.
I remember he did a really cool elimination on him in 2020, but I don't remember what it was here.
Down to 6 at this point. Cody pedigree to Priest. Future shock to Punk. Apparently that's what snapped the tricep somehow.
Thank you.
Yeah. Exploder by Zayn to Drew, then a haluva kick. Sammy eliminates Priest, then Drew eliminates Sammy. Final 4 that we predicted, correct, I think? Punk, Cody, Drew, Gunther.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
And we both at this point have all 3 of our picks to win. Still in,
That's
right?
true. I like that.
They pair off Gunther, Cody, Drew, and Punk. Punk avoids a Claymore. Drew avoids a GTS, hits a Glasgow Kiss. Claymore to Rhodes, then Punk. Punk eliminates Drew. Cody eliminates Gunther, so it's down to Cody and Punk as expected. And basically, at this point, winning our prediction comes down to this, right? Because I had Punk winning.
Yeah, so Cody I like winning. This. So basically, it was the way it shaked out with the women's Rumble is because I got one more surprise pick right than you, but you got your first pick. So we ended up with 4-4. Then we both got the 2 title matches. So we were at 6-6. So then it came down to this. I think, what was it? So I got 2 surprise picks, right? You also got 2. We got the 2 same surprise picks. And so then we're at 8-8, I think.
It all came down to the winner.
Yeah, so then it was not come down to this.
Cody Cutter countered with 3 German suplexes. Crossroad countered with a head kick. We get looking at the Mania sign, pointing at the Mania sign. Crossroads. Punk is dead weight. Nope. Sudden GTS. Punk pedigree, and then he says, "If you know, you know."
Standing Pepsi plunge.
Right.
It's probably a nod to Triple H.
GTS caught, and Cody throws Punk over. Cody wins his 2nd Rumble in a row. I thought, just talking about sort of near the end here, you pointed it out. They talked about Cody possibly winning twice in a row so much that looking back, like they were just telling us.
They were because it's like what only back-to-back winners are.
Austin,
Hogan, Michaels.
And I thought Punk started healing it up and really telegraphing that he wasn't winning too. He started kind of having some heel mannerisms here. I don't know for what reason, but...
And there's no way I'm going to lose to Dusty's kid.
Yeah, right? Again, really predictable, but I don't think that's necessarily bad, right? Andrade was the surprise return here. Braun was the NXT guy that they called up, and I thought he looked good. Mello's awesome. Cross and Lashley, I guess, are carrying on a feud. I don't think there was...
carrying.
Nice. I don't think there was a ton memorable about this one, but I don't think it was bad either.
It wasn't like an offensive one like 2022.
I know this isn't the most interesting review because I don't feel that strongly about anything. But
no, I was saying that to you, right?
I preferred the women's Rumble, but I gave this 3.5 stars. I gave it
3.5. It was a solid Rumble, but nothing outstanding. At least we got like that lengthy final 2 that you always like.
Yeah.
And a good winner, like not a surprising one, but a solid one. It makes sense. Story shall be finished.
Yes, I guess. We'll see. I'd laugh if it won't, actually. I will laugh and laugh. And I don't even want Roman to have a longer reign, but I will I will belly laugh if Cody Rhodes loses at Mania.
I was thinking I have a lot riding on Mania this year because last year I had perfect picks until Cody screwed me. So there's a lot of pressure on me to
he
better.
He just redeemed himself here for you. He just won you this.
No, that's true. I did perfect pick this, but Mania, it's like it's 2 nights, it's a bunch of matches, and for me to almost perfect pick that was insane. So now I need to I usually don't really care with main roster, but when it comes to Mania, this year I'm gonna need to overthink it,
Go deep into I'm just gonna be like, calculus.
Well, yeah, but there's this, but then there's that.
So basically, this show I had nothing higher than a 3 3/4, nothing lower than 3.5. So very
a good very show?
Consistent show, right? Even consistent. Nothing thrilled me. Nothing felt like a chore. The show finished before midnight, which is acceptable to me. I felt like my time was fairly well spent, not
probably
wasted.
One of the better main roster shows we've watched recently. Because Survivor Series was fine. SummerSlam was, and I remember we watched Fastlane, which was bad. Which I may or may not be on worse stuff. But yeah, no. So this one was good. I thought it was pretty good because, like you said, it was super consistent. And Women's Rumble was definitely the highlight. Really good entrance in there. Both winners I'm happy with. Cody's
predictable, totally but fine. Those things make sense. Those decisions make sense.
The Women's Rumble is more in doubt for sure. I'm more so happy with that one because I think Bayley really deserves that, and Cody it makes sense.
I gave the show a B overall.
I give it a B. Yeah, it was perfectly middle ground, and for a Rumble, not a outstanding one, but totally fine. It's not going to be remembered as one of the best or worst. So.
We watched it live, and it didn't feel like a chore. That's a pretty big compliment.
It's pretty good.
Yep. All right, well, let's get into our regular in-depth review every week, and that is going back to this past Wednesday and talking about AEW Dynamite. So let's talk about some Dynamite. We haven't loved the last couple weeks before this one, correct?
After an amazing first week.
Loved the first one of 2024, and then
I'll keep touting that. Yeah.
Disappointed.
First thing I noticed was I'm coming to terms with the fact that Dynamite has adopted the collision set.
Yeah, it seems to be that's just how it is now, right?
Every week since the new year, so I guess it's a change. And again, I would have liked some differentiation, but
it's probably crazy to drive around with 2.
That's sets, what I thought, yeah. But
it's not my problem.
If they're on different enough loops where a lot of the time different guys are on both shows, I feel like what's the point of having the same set on both? I don't know, because it's I feel like it seems like mostly different loops anyways. I don't know,
but duly noted.
Not my expertise, but yes, I've been noting that. And our opening contest is containing Jeff Hardy.
It is. You were not happy about this. I'm not either, to be honest.
It's it's a strange choice.
There was a bit of this tonight of you could use other people.
Yeah, not that a main event it applies to. I don't think the main event turned out bad at all, but
I was almost thinking we could do some content where we do a video where we cut people from AEW and see how many we would get rid of to free up space for other people.
Jeff, Matt,
Sting,
RVD, even though he's not really signed. Honestly,
okay, you're killing our content. Edge, it's an idea for later. Won't do it now.
Wardlow, Kingdom. Okay. There are some CMLL guys in the crowd because it's been advertising for the last couple of weeks, or last week or so at least, that they are going to be on Rampage this Friday in an 8-man tag, which I think we now know it's against Seidel, Daniels, and 2.0.
Yep, that made me laugh. What a group.
Not even what a group. It's you're not even putting 2.0 with Hager and Garcia, the guys that they're in a group with.
It's just super cobbled together randomness.
Yeah, but it's not even there's. I feel like they're heels, so it really doesn't make sense to me. It's nonsensical on multiple fronts, let's just say.
Right.
And I got the names of all the guys there, so I'll mention that after the match because they have some post-match stuff. Then I wrote why Jeff Hardy's in a singles match on Dynamite 2 weeks in a row will continue to bewilder me.
Yep.
Just
because he complained and moaned, so I guess he's getting what he wants.
I guess he bitched and moaned enough on Instagram, which he should be fine for, Bryan Danielson.
Right.
That he got on, and why? It's really? Why don't we
Is he a draw?
No.
I don't think so.
I disagree. Clearly, because the venues are probably still about as good as...
There's nobody at this venue. There's 2,000 people, and they had to black out stuff and use camera shenanigans.
I hope they really figure this out, because it's not a good look for them.
I don't think I'll buy tickets when they come out. I will wait and buy them cheap.
Is that what we're doing?
There will be plenty. I think so.
Oh, we haven't gotten any yet?
No. I thought they haven't been on sale yet?
Probably.
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you knew.
What did I get tickets for?
Didn't you get tickets for Dynamite?
Oh, it was Dynamite. Yeah, sorry. I couldn't remember if I got Money in the Bank or Dynamite tickets.
No, we still need to do Money in the Bank.
I don't even think they're on sale yet. But anyways.
No, for Money in the Bank, I honestly don't know. But no, I really hope to figure this out for their sake, just because it does make me a little sad because I want them to do a lot better than this.
Well, then make the product better. It's not great right now. I wouldn't like.
That's fair.
You know, I don't know.
And like for a company who was able to sell out Wembley, they need to do better than this. They
but
need to just pick up the product. But yeah, enough of that. I really hope they improve because I want to watch something better. And also, I want them to do better in venues because I feel like that's one of the main criticisms coming from WWE shows and whatever, or AEW haters, and it's not what's like not. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. Like unfair, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, I don't notice a lot on TV, but they do have to work around it, I assume. Or like I'll sometimes see like a fan shot of like the other side, and it's
empty.
A few seats, like it's the front row, and that's it.
It's not great.
No. Anyways, Jeff came from the apron with the flying clothesline. Suicide dive for Mox. It looked pretty good. Mox stomped his hand a couple times. Then he hit an X-Plex for 2. He does like kind of a more release one because I feel like Dunn usually comes down with them.
No, he just flings them.
I can say done now and it's not wrong.
True.
Oh, it's beautiful. Mox was doing this interesting like head scissors-esque submission.
That was cool.
That was kind of cool, but I guess slowing him down for Jeffrey. Mox gets thrown over the barricade in front of the CMLL guys, then they kind of get into a shoving match, and then Mox flips him off, hops like over to ringside, and Jeff threw a chair at him, which I guess is allowed.
I guess. They told us the rules are relaxed, whatever that means. They said that like 2 or 3 times.
I guess because it's Moxley.
Relaxed rules.
Mox has a pen from the commentary table, and he sticks it in Jeff's earlobe and twists it.
Yeah, I don't love that
Randy Orton,
man.
circa 2018. Oh, I like it.
Right.
It's cool. And if Jeff's going to have those stupid
and wasn't
big
he
earrings,
like handcuffed or earlobe cuffed or at some point too?
Randy Orton was doing that with the screwdrivers.
So but I think there was something else too. Anyways.
Maybe, I don't know. That was the one where he was like swinging from the top of the cell and he fell through a table.
Yeah.
I don't know. Pile driver for Mox for 2. Jeff hits Whisper in the win for 2. Mox avoids a twist of fate and hits a cutter. Another Randy Orton spot. This one, 2018 Rumble. So that's interesting. Mox rolls the way of a swanton, locks Jeff in a sleeper to win via submission.
Mm-hmm.
Mox offers a handshake and Jeff does like, he kind of flips him off, but he just does like the hand ton he does.
He doesn't.
It was
he's
super
edgy.
weird.
He's not quite here.
Yeah,
yet,
we've been hearing about this aggression from Jeff Hardy lately, and it's like I'll talk about that. I guess I don't like that. It's stupid. Mox taunts the CMLL guys who jumped the barricade. They beat down Mox in the ring, and the guys are we have Mystico, who's botched Kara from WWE, the original Sin Cara, who sucked so bad he left.
Yep.
Masquerade Dorada, he's got a mask similar to Grand Metalik, but not same dude.
Right.
Volador Jr., who's unmasked dude who looks pretty old. And Hechicero, who's going to wrestle Danielson on Collision.
The Radicals, it is not.
No.
NWO, it is not.
I mean, CMLL, it's what I don't know anyone from there, so I guess it's fair.
It's fresh people for me, so I'm
and Mystico's
down for
big
that.
there, so I guess you could say he's a good one for them to bring, and then Mox is saved by the randos that are facing them on Rampage.
Yeah, that group that you already mentioned.
They're facing Blackpool in trios match next week as well, so I don't see this lasting past that. Like,
and
Blackpool
again, this roster is bloated. You do not need to bring in 4 people, even though I'm interested to see them.
They can be on Rampage, I guess. That's fine.
I guess so. So, I don't know. I thought the match was pretty slow and uninteresting. I don't think it was bad. And this is probably the best you're going to get out of Jeff Hardy. But again, that begs the question, why are you putting Jeff Hardy on TV?
No.
I find, and also just his matches feel really copy and paste, right? You know what you're going to see. You're going to see it at 3/4 speed from what you used to see.
And he's going to look really winded, which he did.
He's not showing me anything new. I've seen it all. And it's just, again, let some young, underused talent get these minutes. Instead, we're heading to a heel Jeff Hardy arc that I don't think anyone's asking for.
I don't think so. Not anyone in their right mind.
So anyways, fine opener, I guess. I didn't really do much for me, but I didn't think it would. On paper, a lot of the stuff on this show is questionable. Some of it delivered over, and some did not. This was just okay, I thought.
Yeah, it was fine, but again, not what I want to see at the beginning of shows. I have no idea why they thought it was a smart idea to book Jeff Hardy in singles matches 2 weeks in a row. But in case they're not aware, newsflash, it's not a good idea.
It's not.
It seems like he bitched and moaned enough on social media to get off of Rampage, but I think at this stage in his career, especially with how much he's been botching lately, he doesn't deserve much more than that. And if he desires it so bad, at least put him on the big show I don't watch. So just at least put him on Collision so I don't have to watch it. Again, he was tired looking and slow, maybe a little better than last week, but that's because I feel like Mox is easier to slow it down than Swerve. But even then, if you guys are having to lower their standard to wrestle Jeff, then that's an issue. Again, and that begs the question, why is he here?
I thought he and RVD later on looked pretty winded.
Yeah.
And as a person of their vintage, I can understand that, but I'm also not performing athletically for money.
Yeah, you're not.
And looking to have people cheer for me.
In front of thousands of people. Yeah, right. So
I don't think.
I mean, get that.
Maybe when I play pickup basketball, I'm being streamed and thousands of people are watching me. I don't know.
Or maybe you want to, but you're not doing it for some reason.
I'm definitely at 3/4 speed at best of what I used to be at best.
Finish was solid though. Tease of a Jeff heel turn is gross and undesirable, and like, why would you do that in 2024? And wasn't his heel turn like horrible in TNA 10 years ago?
I didn't like anything he did in TNA.
So that
I was early to the not liking Jeff Hardy. You're a recent arrival. I've been driving that bus. I just picked you up like a couple of years ago.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know why you would do that. Angle to CMLL guys is fine too. They're on Rampage. They're facing Blackwood next week. Feel like it's short term, so that's fine. But it does take up space from guys who matter.
Yep.
Next, interestingly, we roll right into another match, I think, after a commercial, which is Hangman Page versus Toa Leona.
I was almost doubting myself. Like, there's nothing in between these two? No.
Which is the dealer's choice, so Swerve picked Toa Leona, and Swerve will have to wait the whole effing show for his opponent.
That's right.
That's the lingo.
Beast Mode Jones early on in this one.
Beast Mode Jones.
And there was also an Earlobe City call in the...
Earlobe City Jones,
in the previous match.
Yep. Hangman hit a couple of springboard clotheslines to Leona on the apron, but he doesn't go down. Then he grabs Hangman by the hair and throws him out to the floor, which looks solid. Running crossbody from the apron from Leona. He pounced Hangman over the ropes. There are numerous headbutts to Hangman in the Tree of Woe from Leona. Then while Hangman's still hanging there, he hits a diving headbutt in the corner, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
He misses a senton on the apron. Hangman falls up with a slingshot plancha to the outside and a suicide dive. Big diving crossbody in the ring from Hangman for 2. He did like kind of like the one, like kind of like frog splash crossbody where like he tucks in and like really extends out, which is nice.
Yep.
Really nice thrust kick from Leona for 2. It connected really nice. Big Larry from Hangman and a Deadeye, which was actually a good looking one, but Leona kind of just stood back up from that and he hit a headbutt.
That made him look strong, I thought.
Yeah. I didn't love that it was with the Deadeye, but I guess it's okay. Raw Mana from Leona, which is like a Ripcord Discus Layer for 2, which looked pretty solid. I thought when they said Ripcord Layer, I thought it was just going to be a Rainmaker, but at least it was different, which I think is smart because if you're just like Khan's using a pedigree, I don't think that's wise.
Which I forget what he calls it.
It's some complicated name. Like Raw Mana is easier. Leona misses a moonsault from the apron, which I didn't know he could do, and the Hangman comes off the top with the big Orihara moonsault that he does. Toa is able to avoid a buckshot, but he goes for a Samoan drop. Hangman counters into a crucifix bomb and is able to sneak out a pinfall.
I think Toa Leona, whatever it is,
Leona
is really cool, man.
I thought he came out of this looking really good, yeah.
I thought he looked really good here. Again, the common refrain lately, no chance one of these people is winning. It's 2 people who are not on the same level. But Leona is a really cool big man that I enjoy watching him because I haven't seen a ton of him yet.
First singles match in AEW.
I think Swerve and Page made pretty weak choices, all things considered, for opponents. But I
think Swerve's makes sense, though, because in kayfabe, it's like this monster that he's affiliated with, and he's unproven, so... And at least with Leona, again, another defense is that at least this is a good showing for him, and it furthered that, right? With the RVD, I really can't think of a good excuse.
And his dominance allowed, like, the crowd really got into Page's comeback, right? And, like finally getting some offense. Leona dominated the middle portion of this, and I think he's I think he benefited from this time, for interesting talent. He has no links to WWE, which I appreciate. He seems pretty unique. I'd use him more. He gets a lot of oohs from the crowd when he hits his high impact stuff, right? So I thought this was a pretty good TV match, and I like this a lot better than the opener.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought this was my favorite thing up until this point in the show. I thought it was actually quite good for a TV match. Toa comes out of this looking pretty good and better than I expected. He had some cool looking stuff, and this first singles inning for him allowed him to show off more than we've seen from him in the matches with the Mogul Embassy. So we saw some new stuff here that was cool. I didn't know he was capable of moonsaults, but apparently he is. The thrust kick was sweet. The diving headbutt Trivo was cool. He had some nice stuff here, and I thought he definitely benefited from this time. The loss is fine and expected, and I think he still benefited from this time regardless.
Me too.
Hangman looked solid too, as always. Deadeye in this match looked really good compared to a couple of recent that were suspect, and the finish was solid as well. It was definitely better than the opener. I thought this was well done for sure.
Yep. It over-delivered a little bit for me.
Then we get the Bucks arriving. They arrive in a stretch limo. There was some worker coming after them, and again, Nick demands that they're called by their legal names, and he gets fined $500. And Matt asks him pay it by what was it, end of day or something?
I think so, yeah.
This is fine. It's really short, so not much to say about it. But one thing to know is that they have goatees now, which is definitely an upgrade for Bucks in light of recent events involving a certain mustachioed fellow.
They got rid of those mustaches.
Yeah, because Matt especially, it was a striking resemblance mustache-wise.
Yeah, this happened. I'll save my comments on the Bucks for when we circle back around to it later in this show.
Mm-hmm.
I feel we may disagree on that. We'll get there.
I'm not over the moon on it, but
I hate it.
Really?
Yeah, I hate it.
I don't hate it.
I hate it.
Next we get Wardlow versus Commander. In a follow-up to who did he face last week? Don't tell me it was Trent.
Trent in a decent people are finally getting some offense. It's not squashes, so that's kind of refreshing with Wardlow.
It is refreshing, and this was more of that. There was a pop-up power slam from Wardlow, really nice F10.
Really nice. Just spun the guy. Well, he's small. I guess that makes sense. But
Wardlow went for power on the outside, but Commander countered into Hurricane Rana. He sent Wardlow into the stairs. Rope walk dropkick from Commander. He had a Phoenix Splash for 2, and it looked like he needed Wardlow in the head or the throat. It looked nasty.
It was... The end of this match got super sloppy, and this was... Yeah, it looked
which kind of hurt it, because
hit him
most of this was totally fine.
Yeah.
Wardlow hit that elevated knee drop in the corner that we really like.
I do like that.
And the powerbomb's wonky, which got him the win. It wasn't like that cool last ride powerbomb we did the other week. It looked like he tweaked his knee, but from what I've heard after this, he's fine. So
it definitely looked like he tweaked his knee.
I almost said hopefully.
Weak looking powerbomb.
I almost said hopefully he's fine, but honestly, I don't care if he gets injured. And that's mean, but it's just the reality of things.
You're just hurt. People getting hurt is your new favorite thing.
Yeah.
The right people.
This is fine. Nothing amazing. But again, I'm happy to see not a quick, worthless squash. It wasn't as good as the one with Trent because it did kind of fall apart at the end. But most of this was solid. The F10 and the knee thing are cool. Powerbomb was iffy. The post-match stuff, we had some little bit with the UK and the best friends, but that wasn't much to it, so there's really not much worth talking about.
I thought this was kind of a fun little match, and yes, the last little bit was kind of rough.
Up until then, I thought it was going smooth.
Yeah, I thought Wardlow looked really good throwing Commander around. Commander had flurries that were pretty interesting as well. And yeah, with the post-match stuff, when you announce that there's 6 weeks to something, that means you should probably have some interesting stuff planned along the way, and this was nothing much.
I think that's going to hurt the match a little, because I feel like if you had 6 weeks...
We're just in a holding pattern, and they're not really doing anything so far.
It's not even like Cassie. Cassie should be at least defending the title on Dynamite, because isn't that the whole point, is that he's going to wrestle in spite of this challenge? So I feel like at least if he's wrestling every week, and then Roddy can come out and say something, that would maybe help a little.
It would.
And I feel like you could have announced the world title match with 6 weeks to go, and you'd be able to build that. That would make sense to me, especially because it's a world title match, or Osprey or something. But announcing this 6 weeks out is a little...
When he's basically the open challenge champion, and you're claiming a spot a month and a half away.
Yeah, it's a little odd.
Yeah.
But I guess it's kind of whatever.
Yep.
Next, we get Shivani sitting down with Bill and Starks and Darby and Sting.
They've agreed to no physicality.
Yeah, which is
the only way to get through these.
Ain't that always the case? Yep. Well, yeah, because when they don't agree to no physicality, you get Adam Copeland showing up and attacking Christian.
True.
So
no one wants that.
Yep. And also that's why we don't do it in the parking lot, because then there's gonna be physicality.
It has to be.
Yeah. So Starks talked about Sting's first match in AEW 3 years ago being against him in a tag match, which let's not forget the street fight that was in a building.
It was. So I remember that one.
Not on the streets. Sting reminds Starks that he won that match. Alan said Sting is not a stepping stone. And Starks had a good reply to that. He was saying basically Alan's the one who's attached himself to somebody like Sting. So basically implying Allen's using him as a stepping stone, so I thought that was kind of cool. Stark said they're going to retain the titles, and he's going to make sure Sting doesn't make it to his retirement match. Please. Thank you. I could take another injury. That's
more
fine.
injuries.
Yeah, that's
what
fine.
You want.
Stark said he didn't respect Allen. Big Bill trashed Sting and Allen for bragging about how they're going into Revolution. I'm slurring my words here. Going into Revolution as tag team champions without mentioning them. He said they would take out their frustrations on Sting and Darby. Sting spoke about how he admires Starks for getting in his face and talking smack. He said Starks has to earn respect. He said that Big Bill isn't a killer like some of the big men he's faced in the past, which is really great, putting him over right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like where you got Moxley and MJF and putting over their opponents and things just like, you're not a killer. It's like, come on, man. Put some respect on Big Cass.
Big Bill's name.
Yeah, large Cassidy. Darby said he respected Starks and said that Starks should blame himself rather than blaming others. Starks got fired up and saying there's no room in his body for respect for Darby. I
like the way
that was nice.
That.
He threw his drink on Darby. Allen got in his face, and Starks is daring to hit him because no physicality.
That's right.
Sting said he always hated talk and said that Allen would hit him in Phoenix, and he's like, "I'm gonna hit you too." Ooh, spooky.
I kind of like the heel point of view here. That's
I enjoyed Starks and Bill.
They were like, we're the defending champions, and nobody talks about us. All the focus and attention goes to you challengers, right? And that annoys them, and I get that. I thought Starks and Darby really showed good intensity here, and the other two were fine. I thought this is, sometimes I'll say, like, this was a good pro wrestling segment. Yeah. That's what it felt, and it felt like the perfect length to me, too. I'm always nervous when it's some of these things that it's going to go a lot longer than I want.
No, it didn't overstay its welcome.
I thought it did add a little bit to the feud for me, although I kind of identify more with the heels, which is obviously not the plan.
And they are right, too. It's like, I remember after that time, Moxley squashed Punk, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, his whole thing was like the people overlooked him and didn't expect him to win that. And that was true, because I totally thought Punk would beat him. And like, I do subscribe to the opinion, like, I'm pretty confident we get Sting and Darby against the Bucks or whatever with the tag titles at Revolution. So yeah, they are being overlooked, and I think that's right. So I do agree with them here, and I like what they said. I enjoyed parts of this. I think, although it's lame he's defending Sting, Darby sounds really good and confident here. I think ever since that Four Pillars feud, he's had some really good, strong promos. Like, he's improved his work a lot, I think, because there's that Rebar Mitzvah, like, that first promo from him. That was the one where I really noticed, like, hey, Darby's actually got some good stuff on the mic. So I think he did some good work here, and he deserves some more praise for that every now and then. And Starks was arguably my highlight here. I thought he was really great here. His delivery was awesome, and I liked what he said. And he had some really good lines. I thought it was one of Bill's better speaking roles too, because I like what he said. Like you said, it makes sense. They're being overlooked, even though they're the champions. And so I liked what they both said. I thought the heels were really good here, and I really didn't care for what Sting said. I'm praying the Buck get involved next week and cost Sting and Darby the belts, because like they didn't want to book it as the EVPs or something like that. You can work some angle with this new character they have, right?
Maybe.
And I'm really hoping, like, it'd be weird for Sting to lose before his retirement, but at the same time, I'm really hoping they don't screw Starks and Bill, because they're not even my favorite team, but I just think it would be so stupid for them to lose the titles here. Like,
I don't know.
It would be so dumb. But next we get Chris Jericho versus Kyle Fletcher, and I wrote condolences in advance for Fletcher, because we all know how this is going to go.
Correct, unfortunately.
What am I saying? Fletcher connected with a crisp Michinoku driver early on for 2. Like, he kind of gets some jump on it, and he
awesome.
planted Jericho perfectly. It was awesome looking. Springboard dropkick from Jericho with Fletcher on the apron. Crowd count punches in a Frankenstein from Jericho, which I wrote as he was still punching him, because I knew it was where it was going. Half and half suplex from Fletcher, and then he follows with that running corner Enziguri and brainbuster combo that I love for a 2 count, because he gets so much, he's so lanky that he gets really good reach time. Like, he'll be like however far out from the corner, but he'll extend so far his foot still connecting perfectly with the face. Like, he gets such great reach, and like, it's so crisp. He does that really well.
Yes.
He's got some sweet stuff.
He does.
Codebreaker from Jericho for 2. Way too slow on the pin. Like, it was weird. Brainbuster on the top turnbuckle from Fletcher for a near fall. That looked crazy.
It kind of didn't get it the way they were supposed to get it.
But it looked like kind of a cool messy, though, where it was like messy and it looked effective. That's kind of a wonky scenario to be in, right? Spinning roundhouse from Fletcher. Then he went for a suicide dive, but Jericho met him with a mid-air juice effect, which I'll give him that. It looked pretty cool. Still doesn't make it a good finisher, though. It's more like you could have caught him with any strike, and it looks cool because, like, Takeshita does it with a knee.
Well, and it helps the guys diving head first at you, too, right?
Yeah. And then he did the diving juice effect, did Jericho for the win, which reminded me of the one match where you had to do that.
And remember the one-leg code breaker with the one-leg Jones we got? Even Taz couldn't deny that it was one-legged. This match got more time than I thought it would. Like, Fletcher is a joy to watch, I think.
Oh, I loved ever since that match with Cassie where he got to showcase himself by himself. There's been some matches where he looked awesome. Like
his offense is so crisp and clean.
Danielson Omega, he had some matches, right?
Jericho's starting to show his age. A couple of spots weren't perfect, but he did work a decent pace for parts of this at least. I hate the decision to have a young champion kind of on a roll, looking to break out basically in 2024, lose a match to a 53-year-old. When I don't think a loss hurts Jericho at this point, right?
Yeah, no, I definitely hate it, but
especially considering the numbers game, like there's other people there with Fletcher.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, I expected it though.
At least he took a super finisher, I guess. I don't know.
He did take 2, if you want to count the midair. So I guess there's that.
So listen, here's my little rant.
Okay.
AEW's numbers are dwindling for live shows. The ratings are like holding steady, fluctuating slightly, right? So why not take an opportunity to try new things since what you're doing isn't growing anything, right? So push Fletcher, Hobbs, Takeshita to the moon as a group.
That's such a great group. Honestly.
Create new stars instead of relying on aging ones from other companies, right? Make the Jericho Callis feud
Takeshita needs to be the next big thing.
And just start creating your own stars. That's what I just want them to do, and stop looking for guys with WWE pedigree. Just make stars of your own and then have WWE try and steal them from you, and you can be like, look, because Starks is gone. Starks is good as gone as far as I know.
I hope not, because
he's buddies with Cody, and I think he's looking to get out of there.
Maybe.
So I think he'll be gone.
That sucks, because I really like Starks.
And right, they're making Starks, and he was in NWA, whatever. That doesn't count, man.
No, like, NWA, they took him from NWA and made him something.
Right. And those are the things I want them to do, because relying on bringing in all of these washed up, in my opinion, or out past their prime, isn't moving the needle, isn't growing your company.
Even though Jade wasn't the best, that's someone they built up and WWE snapped up.
Shift gears.
Right? So there's something like that. Build up Wardlow just so you can get out of there.
Right.
I don't know. I agree with that, though. Result aside, I thought it was a good TV match. Fletcher's offense is among my favorites right now as well. Along with Takeshita. Takeshita is fantastic. Sweet stuff in here from him. All his strikes look crisp. The brainbusters in the ring and the one on the turnbuckle were sweet. The Michinoku driver variation he has is crazy looking too. It's just, he nails it every time. It's so perfect. I hate that Jericho won here because big ones like this could help make Fletcher, like you're saying, but I'm glad he's still look good regardless, if nothing else.
And what does Jericho need to win here?
Why is Jericho still here?
I know.
We keep saying this.
Remember, the thing he's best at is going away and quote unquote reinventing. I would suggest some of them are pretty subtle changes, but you have to go away for it to happen.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
and
I think he thinks he's like
too important.
He can't possibly leave.
I am begging him to go away.
Yeah.
The juice effect from like catching the dive was cool. The diving version is less so, but it was fine. Jericho solid overall, but nothing crazy noteworthy from him. I like Takeshita coming out on the stage after because it made him feel like kind of this final boss kind of dude.
Yeah,
so I thought that really helped for his presentation. And I really, really, really hope they do the right thing next week and have him win, because there's no reason Jericho should win against Takeshita. Takeshita, if nothing else, like, no disrespect to Fletcher Hobbs, if no one else, he should be the one that's getting the wins.
It's building to a Jericho Callis match. Imagine. God.
But, like, Takesha's the one that you should be protecting. I've said this since this faction started. Takesha's the crown jewel. He's the one you protect at all costs. He's the one that should be winning. He's the one that's on the rise. He's the one out of this group that has the biggest potential. So you need to protect him and be careful. Like that match with Darby, those are the matches that are gonna help build him. And Jericho can like have a good competitive match. I have no problem with that, but Takeshita needs to win next week and absolutely smush Jericho's face with his knee.
Takeshita can't squash him because that doesn't make Fletcher look good. So just winning.
No, I just want a good competitive match that Takeshita wins
convincingly. Yes,
and I mean Hobbs already squashed him, so then it's kind of weird. But I guess Hobbs is a powerhouse.
He is. I've heard that about him.
Yeah, but anyways, this was good. Sucks for Fletcher, but fingers crossed for to catch next week. If Sting and Jericho win next week, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, it's not a direction I'm enjoying if that's the case.
I'm one of them I'm expecting, and one of them I'm like, both of them I'm hoping they find a way to not do it. Next week at Deonna Purrazzo promo package. She was talking about how all the tattoos on her body have meaning in her life, and she said her and Storm got that tattoo on a whim because they were two women on a journey to becoming great pro wrestlers. And at the end, she asked Tony what the tattoo meant to her,
and a whole bunch more footage of them on the road together,
there was like
together,
photos of them together. Again, just showing that it's real, because it's with how many times this happened in the women's division, you do need some of that real life.
Like, hey, we know each other. Here's a bunch of evidence.
We were friends and we did all this. Right. Like, at least there's that. Yeah, she sounded solid. There's not much else to say, but I like that she was talking about all her tattoos having a meaning. Like, that's kind of cool. Like, it's a story of her life kind of deal. So I like that.
And the whole question of what does that tattoo mean to you? Maybe that's again an attempt to snap her out of this character she's doing, right?
I mean, if Butch can do it, so can she.
I wish Purrazzo would keep confronting that like she did last week, but I thought she sounded good here. And again, just more evidence of the pre-existing relationship between she and Storm. And I always say I like reality in my wrestling, so that's good. We wait for Storm's response, I guess.
Yeah, and at least they're like prominently building a women's rivalry, which I feel like they don't always do the best of.
I don't love that. I'm pretty sure Purrazzo doesn't win, and it kind of stops her momentum.
Confident,
but
yeah, I'm
who knows?
Ever hopeful though.
Me too.
And again, I hope they rebuild this, because get a good women's division. That's something that could draw people, you know.
And if you have serious people who are saying they're technicians, you gotta distance yourself from Toni Storm. Not that she's not a good wrestler, but the character is
and I will say this. AEW definitely helped my perception of her. I actually enjoyed some of her work, pre-Outcast and Timeless, but I think she's just been saddled with two gimmicks that I utterly don't like. More so Outcast. I will say Timeless is better than the Outcast, because Outcast...
Again, Timeless is fine.
We'll get to it.
There's a place for it. It's not the top of the card.
Exactly.
The face of the division.
We'll get to it in the worst stuff, but Outcast I absolutely loathe. And Timeless, it's getting there, because like you said, it's just it being at the top of the card and hurting these main feuds is really, it's wearing out its welcome for me.
It's tough for the people in an angle with them to deal with, I think.
Absolutely. Next we hear from the Bang Bang Scissor Gang. I did like that they just straight out came out to the Bullet Club Gold theme instead of doing the half and half they did last week, which I mean, I do want to rap, but at the same time, Bang Bang Gang's new theme is sick. I really like it.
It's good.
It's got a good fit for them. I've seen some people saying it's kind of got that feel of, remember the one time Guns came out to Many Men? Like, it's kind of got the feel of that. And the Bullet Club Gold entrance is perfect. The one with like the spotlight going around them with the Guns thing. I'm glad the Guns got that, and then it kind of carried over to the faction, because with Jay White, it looks top guy kind of thing, right? Like, it's one of those, it genuinely helped the Guns look more legitimate. We talked about in the best of, right? So it's a really great entrance, and Acclaim being there is fine. I don't really care. Jay White said he loves the Acclaims thing, but they have their own thing too, and he did the Guns Out thing. He was like, wherever they were, he was like, do we have any blah 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 gold members? I don't remember where they were. Do you remember?
No, I don't remember.
Okay. I don't remember.
Chance.
Does not matter. They weren't in the Kia forum, so I don't know.
And I also struggled to stay interested in this segment.
I agree. That's fair. Max Caster said they have dominated 6-man tag matches for years, which, I mean, neither of their reigns have been over a year. I guess the Acclaimed have been Trees match for a while, so that's fair. But Bullet Club Gold haven't even been a faction for a year. So that logic sounded shaky to me.
Been in the same company for...
Jay White hasn't even been in the company for a year. And I loved them, don't get me wrong. I love Jay White, but just the logic here is weird. Caster called for, Bowens, one of them called for card blades. They pulled him out. The Guns say they fired him weeks ago, which I did see that. They fired him. And Colton calls for Austin to get rock card juice board, which is nice. And what I liked is when the Acclaimed were saying they're missing someone, I heard a lot of people say Juice. So that made me happy that people haven't forgotten about him, because I absolutely love Juice Robinson. I cherish him, and I hope he's back soon, because he's a integral part of the Bang Bang Gang.
He's been a while.
I think so.
At least could be on TV and segments.
Exactly. I that's all I need him to do. And I think Rock Card Juice Board is really funny, though.
Although maybe Tony Khan gives people time off. What a crazy idea.
That's true. I hope Juice is doing well, though, because we love him here, especially me. I enjoy him very much.
He's fun.
He's a ball of amusement. Austin wanted to do the 2 words for you, the catchphrase thing, but Billy Gunn said he's standing right there, which I thought was kind of amusing. That was a nice little
It's weird
nod.
That they're all back together with no real issues after like a blood feud and a custody
dumpster
battle.
match.
Just like, now we're good now.
It's the exact same thing they've already done, just Jay White's there now. So then Billy Gunn said, if you're not down with that, you have 2 words for you. The fans chanted suck it, and Billy said they have something new now, and he said guns up.
They did. This segment did not keep my interest. I don't get this combination, and I kind of just tuned the silliness out because I didn't feel like there was any real substance here. It wasn't.
The only thing I really liked was the bit with the cardboard people.
Mm-hmm. You're going to say the same thing. Bullet Club Gold need to be clear and obvious heels.
This is so ill-fitting for them.
I don't know what happened to them to get to this point. It wasn't really explained to us.
It wasn't really warranted or earned.
And I don't like it, and I'm really hoping that the turn is coming sooner than later. And yeah, this was not my favorite segment for sure.
It was fine, I guess. It was pretty harmless, but like, I mean, it didn't accomplish anything. No. It was really just here to be here.
Yes.
My favorite part was probably the chance for Rock Card Juice Board, and I'm just glad to see people haven't forgotten about him because I patiently await his return. The group is incomplete without his goofy antics. Nothing really going on here, though, and Bullet Club Gold's babyfaces feel so wrong. Jay White painting to the fans feels incredibly wrong. Billy Gunn saying guns up feels super wrong. We better be getting the heel turn in Trios unification match at Revolution real soon because I don't know how much more this false Bang Bang Gang can take. This is not my Bullet Club Gold. They're a group of arrogant, obnoxious pricks who annoy everybody.
And again, it just...
Jay White's like a self-centered
contradicts recent
guy.
History that even someone like me who doesn't remember anything remembers.
Yeah.
And it's just all water under the bridge for some reason.
Yeah, so it's not only doesn't really not make sense to me, but it's also why are they babyfaces? They're the perfect heel faction. They are amazing heels. Like the Guns, I think the Gun Club when they were with Billy and their babyfaces, they were boring and they sucked ass. But heel Guns, especially in Bullet Club Gold, are awesome. So I really don't understand this. I really hope it's just for like an uber heel turn because, you know, everyone, like quite literally, I know it's a catchphrase, but everyone loves the Acclaimed. So I hope it's so that
I think it has to be
Bullet Club Gold gets a lot of heat on that. And then you get like a unification match at at Revolution so that you can get rid of the ROH belts that have no reason to exist. Because I really don't know what other angle this is.
No, I don't either.
Why else would you need to... And, like, isn't the whole point that this supergroup is meant to take out Cole's group, but they haven't interacted with that group once?
Yeah.
Like, are we just forgetting that? Because the whole point is that they're after Cole's group, and, like...
Nothing to do with that.
You could have them involved in the process of Cassidy's thing, I guess, right? But, like, that's literally the whole point of this group, and they have not done one thing about that.
Nope.
Which, as I remember, that annoys me more. So yeah, like this segment's fine, it's harmless enough, but this is not what Bullet Club Gold is meant to be. So there's a lot of people that can, like, a lot of times we say people shouldn't turn face, but this is just one of the bigger ones. Next we get Deonna Purrazzo versus Taya Valkyrie with Toni Storm on commentary. And last time Taya was wrestling on AEW that I can remember, it didn't go amazing. So here's something for a change. Of course, because we were not thrilled with her last stint.
We were not.
It was disappointing to say the least.
It led us to the whole, like, is she maybe not good?
I think that's...
We had to have the Thunder Rosa conversation.
I think we've reached there, yeah. Her and Rose are two people that we used to think highly of and that have kind of fallen off. Whereas I would say Christian and the Guns are the polar opposite there. Tilted World Head Scissors from Purrazzo. Johnny TV distracts Purrazzo and Taya Spears on the ramp, which, like, didn't look as impactful as it should have.
No.
It was fine. Pump kick from Purrazzo for 2. I almost thought I misspelled it and wrote plump kick, which that would be really funny. Blue Thunder Bomb from Taya for 2, but one where she just kind of half spins her. Not like Takesha, because Takesha's Blue Thunder Bomb is fantastic.
Yeah, I think there's a difference in upper body strength to be able to
for sure. But even Sami Zayn, he always did a really good one, I thought. But anyone who says Takesha's isn't the best is a fool. Storm and Purrazzo face off. Taya tries to attack, and Deonna sends her into Tony. So, I guess.
Like you were struggling with the color black and white.
Yeah, it's like
very jarring.
They couldn't decide. Yeah, it was really jarring cuts between, like, honestly more jarring than Kevin Dunn's camera cuts for me. Just because this actually kind of hurt my eyes for a second. It was just like so sudden between color and black and white. I was like, it was actually kind of hurting my head for a second. I was like, not like, but just it was really jarring. It just kind of bugged me. Then the finish came Purrazzo submits Taya with like a Venus de Milo variation, where she's like sitting on Taya's back and bending her arms back. It was crazy. Like Credit is due for Taya's flexibility. Yeah.
Like, you're not getting to the ropes. Like, I don't know what you do to get out of that.
Yeah, credit to Taya for that flexibility, regardless of how we feel about her wrestling lately. That
the range of motion in her shoulders, like crazy. I would be.
Well, and just bending that far forward, where like it was crazy looking. So that looked awesome.
Yeah. Other than the crazy looking submission, I thought it was a pretty straightforward match. Just TV time for Taya, and I guess a quality, quote unquote, win for Deonna ahead of her match with Storm. I love Deonna Purrazzo. I've got a long history of really enjoying her, but I don't feel like they've built her into a viable contender as of yet.
I think, and part of it is I don't want to give her like the Taya treatment, obviously, because I think she's looked as good as she can so far.
Yeah.
I think we just really need a quality opponent for her. And we do. Like, give her Aminata which is, hey, if I'm already saying that, that's good credit for Aminata.
Love Aminata.
Give her even like, I don't feel great about it, but maybe you feed Sheeta to Purrazzo, because like Sheeta's not done all. Or like, since they don't have her win ever, have Purrazzo face Willow.
Yeah,
like just someone good, you know.
I do think the Storm Purrazzo match has the potential to be really good. I just wish it were hotter coming into it.
It also depends on how much Storm leans into her antics. I feel like the one with Riho wasn't great.
Yeah.
This was fine. It was nothing amazing, but it wasn't like. At least it wasn't horrible like multiple Taya matches have been. So it was inoffensive at best.
Yeah.
Some of her stuff here was still kind of slow. Like, she's still not looking great, nothing horrible. I don't think she looked bad here again, but this was nothing to change my opinion that I don't think she's great anymore.
No, nothing glaringly awful, but also not like, oh man, she's definitely good.
Yeah, nothing that makes me want to give her a second chance so far. But credit for that flexibility for that finish, because that was crazy looking. That looked awesome.
Really cool.
Purrazzo's still solid, but we need that standout outing for her. Maybe we're just waiting for a decent opponent, like I said. And Storm on commentary wasn't great. It just felt like a detractor, in my opinion. Kind of like how you were saying with that segment with
people
the segments
think
with Purrazzo.
She's hilarious on commentary.
I got slight amusement out of the human duplex machine a couple weeks ago, and that was it.
There's a couple, like, it's amusing, I guess. I don't know.
Here and there, really.
Yeah.
Next we get Darby Allin interview. He's about to be interviewed by Renee, who asked Allin about his admiration for the Young Bucks, which once I got that, I thought that was kind of funny.
Best part of this segment was that when the second where she asked that question, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, me too. I was like,
and then it goes downhill.
Then I got it.
Over a cliff.
Really?
Yeah, I hate this.
You're surprisingly harsh.
It's already on my list of things I hate in 2024.
Really?
Yep.
That's interesting. It's not quite there for me. I'm kind of on the fence.
I'll discuss it. You go ahead and finish. Okay.
Matthew and Nicholas wonder why a 65-year-old lead like Sting is taking from Allin, which is a good point. He said he had a good gimmick idea for Allin, which is them being in a trio and doing an emo thing. That was
already
weird.
I have a new gimmick for you.
That I will agree. I didn't like because that's a little behind the curtain. That's why gimmicks like this are hard, because it's hard to like you're walking the line, right? So it's tricky. So that's fair. Allin said there's only one thing on his mind, which is AEW tag titles, and he walks away. Buck said that to get his attention in another way, which I like, because that feels like it's teasing something next week for me, which I'll talk about.
Okay.
Thoughts?
So this feels like a big giant BTE segment. This whole new character. I can't stand the tone. I can't stand the content. I don't get how anybody that interacts with them is supposed to play off of this. I think Darby looks silly here, just getting steamrolled by them doing like silliness and not saying or doing anything because they're EVPs or I just don't know how anybody interacts with them when they're doing this. And this feels just really self-indulgent BTE stuff to me. And it's not what I want.
It's because they canceled BTE.
And the whole like, we've got a new gimmick for you and ha ha ha, wink wink. Like we're doing EVP, like it's just cringe to me. Honestly, I can't stand it.
That's fair.
And I do like the Bucks as heels, but not this incarnation.
I did like their heel run with Omega.
Like I don't know how they're gonna help anybody that interacts with them. I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's still in progress for me.
It's like they're amusing themselves and their little group of friends or something. It's like BTE.
Almost like Storm because it's amusing me in bits, but I don't dislike it as much because I
hate it. And I almost never say that about anything.
That's true.
I hate it.
I was at first confused about Renee's question, but once funny. The Bucks put up, like, that was funny. I thought Mount sounded better than that first segment we got. And I like that at least Nick addressed Darby ducking them, because I was kind of pointing that out too. It's like the Bucks put out this challenge for their final match, which then they were just like, hey, you want to go for the tag titles?
Yeah.
So that was kind of dumb, and so I agree with that. And I feel like when Matt was saying they're going to need to get Darby's attention in another way, I feel like that's teasing some shenanigans next week. Which I'm praying for.
Which you're all for.
I do not want Sting with the tag titles. Hey,
have you mentioned that?
Love this or hate this, you should be happy if they cost Sting the belt.
I guess.
I mean, at least there's that.
I guess.
And yeah, I don't know. It's them trying something. I'm not like. I think I was more up on it when on the idea of it. So far, the execution is leaving me.
This feels like something they decided to try, and nobody has the guts to tell them it's a stupid idea because they're EVPs. Like, oh yeah, man, that sounds good. That sounds funny.
Well, then it's like, I guess, are they just gonna stop at some point?
I don't know if they think they're being meta or whatever, but it's cringy.
Is it like some parody on Vince?
Maybe. I don't know.
I wish they could just do like the heel gimmick they had when they're in 2021, where it's just like
just be the douchebags.
Yeah, just being douchebags. Because I like when Nick would do like the thing where he's just like doing the Macho Man pointing.
Believable douchebags. This is like melodrama. What I don't know.
Melodramatic.
It's just dumb.
Yeah, no. 2021 douchebag Bucks were awesome because just the Nicholas had quite the look back in the day.
He did.
2021 AEW. That is what everyone says is the peak.
It was good. Good times.
I feel like it was because that was the Hangman saga. That was Danson and Cole arriving.
Mm-hmm.
The Omega run.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. Fans coming back.
Yep.
Someone from Chicago was there.
And say what you will, his debut is
a special moment for sure.
And we say that as a non-fan of that man.
I say that as someone who avidly hates Punk.
But his arrival was a moment.
That was special. There's very few reactions like that in wrestling, and so it just sucks it's been kind of tarnished.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and I was just watching, speaking of things that are tarnished, which I guess it's less so because it was already a bad thing, but I rewatched for some reason Cultaholic, the 10 worst matches from 2022, and the worst was, remember when Vince wrestled at WrestleMania a couple years back?
Yeah.
That's just so much worse now because
that
was before we knew anything about him because the allegations initially came out in July of that year. So we didn't know anything. So I think it's funny looking back because we hated that just because it was bad, and at that point we just hated Vince for his shitty creative.
Yeah.
But then,
I've known he's a monster.
Looking back
forever.
now,
I've been calling him a monster for years and years. And
now
years.
It's on a completely another level.
It is.
It's on an entirely different plane of existence. Anywho, Swerve Strickland versus who? I don't know. Well, I've waited the whole effing show for this, so I guess we'll find out. No Nana after the table spot last week, which is BS.
Little continuity, Will Washington.
But he's not, like, I don't care. Just have him in a neck brace or something, and he can come out.
What podcast mentions Will Washington more than us? None.
Who remembers that Will Washington exists other than us?
I do.
That's continuity for us, is where we're remembering the continuity of Will Washington.
I used to listen, I think it was RBR was his show, and the one guy on there was so funny, but then, I don't know, it got dumb and I stopped listening.
I was, like, you could have not dancing in pain in, like, a brace or something, like, just...
They've done the wheelchairs and casts and neck braces too much lately.
I don't care, it's Nana.
Gotta give it a break.
You don't want Nana here? How you dare?
It's alright.
Rob Van Dam comes out, so shocking and also exciting and interesting as well.
Mm-hmm.
Woo. Hangman appears on the Tron, says Toa was a good choice but wasn't close enough. He says Swerve must not know how to read because they can also pick the stipulation, and he says he's facing RVD in a hardcore match.
Ooh.
Yay.
Yep.
I mean, Swerve's been stapled, so does it really matter?
But he gets hit in the face with a chair right away.
Yeah. As the bell rings, RVD throws a chair at his face. Slingshot leg drop on the apron from RVD. He does the corkscrew leg drop with Swerve on the barricade. Rolling Thunder from RVD after Swerve went face first into a chair in the corner. RVD went for monkey flip out of the corner, but Swerve caught him, countered into a sit-out powerbomb on a chair for 2. Brian Cage interferes, shoving RVD off the top rope. Then Hook comes down to steal a chair, attack Cage, and send him off.
And Joe's rooting for Hook, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah,
like, get him, kid, or
he
whatever.
Was even rooting for RVD, though, so I think he's just rooting against the potential challengers.
Yes.
When he wasn't on commentary for Hangman, but he was the other week, right? So I guess it's just balancing out that way. Swerve avoids another Rolling Thunder, and he hits the Rolls through Flatliner for 2. Running Swerve Stomp from the apron with RVD seated on the chair from Swerve after some confusion as to where the chair was, I guess. I don't remember. RVD was kind of...
That was an awkward bit.
Wandering around. Yeah, it was a little weird.
And it's like Swerve had to go get him, bring him back to the chair, and get, like... It was strange.
It was kind of weird, yeah. Swerve climbs to the top turnbuckle. RVD throws a chair at him, which knocks him off and through a ringside table. Saying to you, that reminds me of that one Cody spot with Malachi
Cody
Black.
Leaps off of the cage.
Where Cody he was off the top turnbuckle.
Oh, right.
He was he was like standing, because you know how you can climb from the side.
Yeah.
So he's like standing on the side, like bent over, kind of. And Malachi Black comes up with like the step up knee, and Cody does because he's bent over, he does like a complete arch through the table behind.
Launches himself.
It was such an unnatural fall, and that's one of the funniest Cody things. Besides,
this one was better.
Besides the promo and racism, you know, and the subsequent baby.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that's what was all though. It just reminded me of that in a way. I already missed the 5-star frog splash, landed on chair. Swerve hits a chair, assisted house call for 2. It didn't connect perfectly.
No, I like the idea.
It was good enough. Yeah, the idea was there for sure. Swerve picks up the win with the Swerve stomp.
Yeah, I thought we talked about it in the moment. Like, if RVD is going to get an extended stretch on offense against Swerve, peak Swerve, I would suggest, then the immediate steel chair to the face is a smart way to do that, right? And that sort of gives RVD a chance to control things for a long time. And don't get me wrong, I don't need to see RVD in 2024, but if I have to see him, I thought this was a good way to do it. Couple of questionable bits leading up to, especially to the stomp in the chair on the floor. But overall, I was entertained by this. And honestly, props to Swerve for working so hard to make RVD look good, right? This is not a main event, like a top tier main event or anything, but I thought it over delivered for sure. And I'm going to give Swerve a lot of credit for that, just giving RVD a ton. But I thought RVD looked good, and the no DQ part helped. Like I said, the chair shot sort of allowing RVD to do what he does, I think was a smart way to do it, because otherwise I wouldn't want this to be as competitive as it was. So I thought a solid main event, not amazing.
And afterwards we had Hangman coming out and congratulating Swerve on the win. He says the rankings come out later in the night, which they did. Rankings are back. They're both still undefeated, so he assumes they'll be at the top. I believe Swerve was ahead of him, though.
He should be. He's beaten him twice, as Swerve will mention.
That's last year,
I guess.
So that doesn't matter in the scheme of the rankings, okay, pal? He says he knows Swerve is after Joe. He needs the title, but he won't let that happen. He says he'll be the next world champion, not Swerve. Swerve says Hangman doesn't get it, and he keeps repeating himself. He's beaten Hangman twice, so he has nothing to prove, and Hangman's upset he can't beat Swerve. Hangman says Swerve never beat him on his own because he's had a bunch of help both times, which is true. And he knows man-to-man, when it counts, Swerve can't lace his boots. Swerve says Hangman must want suffering, but he'll give him what he wants, and after the third time they are done, and he has his sights on the world title. So we're getting them next week. The winner faces Joe. Yeah,
it was a cool interaction. I don't love that, Swerve got manipulated verbally fairly easily here.
I don't think so, because at least
I wish he would have just laughed it off and been like, I don't care what you say.
I mean,
I'm done, 2-0.
I guess Swerve gets a title shot out of this. So.
I guess. But yeah, it was a good interaction for sure.
So despite my grievances with the spot being given to RVD, like you were saying, I thought they still managed to produce a pretty solid main event. Nothing mind-blowing, but it was solid. And Swerve's done much better, but for what it was good. Some solid spots with steel chairs, and the table spot was decent too. Stipulation definitely helped RVD look a little better than he would otherwise. I wish Swerve got more offense in, but he got more towards the end and a quality win. The brief promo between him and Hangman was really good, though. I think they're just perfect together.
They have good chemistry for sure.
Absolutely, in and out of the ring. The match next week should be awesome. I'm calling it right now, though. It's not the last one. This is not where it ends. I think they're going to have some sort of draw next week, which will fit because of how bitter this feud is. And it's not going to end in just some basic match on Dynamite. Since they're going to have some war next week, I think it'll be some super epic battle where they're both proven worthy in the eyes of Joe. Because that's been his whole thing, right? Only the worthy will face him. Get the unworthy out of my ring and all that. So then I think it'll be a three-way at Revolution. There's no way we get a definitive end to one of the best feuds they've had on Dynamite. And plus, the prospect of this triple threat is way too enticing. So I'm calling it right now. There's no way that we're getting a straight winner here. I think you have them go to some sort of draw, and I think that's fine because they can pull that off. I trust them to do that.
It wouldn't make me angry, I don't think.
And then you have a triple threat. I have to say Joe retains for now, then at Double or Nothing, maybe you have either Swerve go for the belt or you have the blow off with Swerve and Hangman. And then you have Swerve win it in the summer.
And I think the finish of the triple threat is, because you're kind of walking the line, and I think it'd be cool if Paige's focus becomes Swerve not winning even more than winning himself. You know what I mean? So if somehow
and that cost him, like
Swerve's about to win in the triple threat, so he stops Swerve, but then that leads to him getting muscle busted and losing or something. Where he's
he's more concerned of preventing Swerve's win.
Priority one is Swerve doesn't win
instead of his own. Right. Yeah,
so I
would like that for sure.
Yeah. Overall, I don't think this show was spectacular, and on paper, a lot of the stuff was nothing I really wanted to see, but I think most of it was executed fairly well. Obviously, I can't stand the new Young Bucks thing, but I didn't mind it. I thought it was better than last week. Again, next week looks like a stronger show, I think, with some more meaningful matches. Yes. A couple matches where I don't know the result immediately, which is what I'm looking for. I gave the show a B-. I thought it was decent, not great.
Mm-hmm.
You?
I forgot to write it down, so I'm gonna have to wing it. Which I've been doing a good job of doing that this year, but I guess not. Looking back, yeah, so I thought some things over-delivered. Like, both of the Dealer's Choice matches were not amazing on paper, but I thought, especially, I like the Leona one better, I think, just because I think it gave a showcase to him, and I appreciate that. So I like that.
No, that's probably not true. I probably like the main event better.
I think I liked the other one a little better, just because I don't care for RVD. I thought, at least Leona's a new guy who's it's a good choice for that reason. Fletcher Jericho was actually pretty solid, too. So I thought none of the matches were bad, other than Moxley. Actually, the women's match and the opener were mid, and Wardlow Commander was too short. But none of the segments were great. Other than that, I think Starks and Bill really killed it this week. I think they deserve some credit. Bucks were fine. I don't hate it, but I'm on the fence.
You can like it.
Honestly, I don't even know if I like it. I'm just kind of watching it play out.
Yeah.
Nothing else really of note. The Bang Bang Scissor Game thing was pointless, and
it was,
but it really doesn't affect my grade one way or another. It's just kind of there. So I'm gonna give it a B-2, below average or around, but it's all right.
All right. Well, that was Dynamite, and now we're gonna move into a little bit of trivia. I'll quiz Jack on a topic of my choosing. It's what we call off the top of his head. Okay, so this week we're using AI, and it is, can Jack guess the wrestler off of a ChatGPT description?
Is this why you were looking at Brock Lesnar?
Correct. I was looking at rosters to pick people. So I picked all people that you quite like, either current roster people in WWE or AEW to narrow it down, okay? And a lot of ChatGPT starts out with their real names and where they're from, and I feel like that'll give it to you right away. So I'm going to kind of save those as like the clues if you don't get it off of their other description, okay?
Uh-huh.
So first one, American professional wrestler. Oh, I gave the American away, but that doesn't narrow it down much. It's more the foreign ones.
Down whatsoever.
Known for his agility, technical prowess, and charismatic persona. He has been a key figure in WWE and has held multiple championships, including the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Rollins.
Correct. Real name?
Kobe Lopez.
Correct. Next one. Don't want that detail.
I mean, you can ask me about the real name after. I might not
American
know,
wrestler with a gritty and unpredictable style.
Mox?
Yes. Has gritty. Got it for you?
Yeah.
I
think his name's Jonathan Good, right?
It is.
I knew that one for a long time.
The rest was he's gained prominence for his work in AEW, where he became AEW World Champion. Next one.
Record 3-time.
American wrestler known for his time in WWE's NXT brand and his charismatic presence.
Adam Cole.
Correct.
Yeah. Austin Jenkins, yeah.
And it blah blah blah. AEW Austin Jenkins, correct.
Boom, 3 for 3.
Won't say where he's from yet. Recognized for his hard-hitting and technical style. Gained acclaim in WWE's NXT UK brand.
Pete Dunne.
Correct.
Hard-hitting technical.
Being a notable figure on the independent wrestling scene.
Peter England.
Yeah. Peter England is correct.
Boom.
This man has exhibited a dynamic, high-flying style, earning him recognition as one of the rising stars in Japanese wrestling.
Takeshita?
Known for his time in DDT Pro Wrestling.
I wouldn't know. Is his name Takeshita?
Takeshita is correct.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
Really?
It just says, it doesn't say he has a real name or not.
I assume that's it. But
American wrestler associated with AEW. His cowboy-themed persona
Hangman
and in-ring skills made him a fan favorite.
I don't know his name. His name's Konosuke Takeshita, I think.
I believe it.
What? Hangman? What's his name?
It just says Adam Page. American wrestler with a versatile style that combines athleticism.
Stephen Blake Woltz. Okay. Not even close.
American wrestler versatile style combines athleticism and charisma. Has worked for various promotions, including WWE, and currently competes on the independent scene. That's not true. He's in AEW. So I'll give you that correction. Versatile style, yes. Athleticism for sure. Charisma, yes.
Swerve?
Yes, Swerve.
Nice.
Shane Strickland, known as Swerve, or Isaiah Swerve Scott.
Yes.
I think you know his indie name, so I won't use it. American wrestler who gained recognition in WWE's NXT brand. Known for his high flying maneuvers, not so much, and agility in the ring. Christian Casanova.
Oh.
Previous name.
Mello, yeah.
Correct, Carmelo Hayes.
I do know that.
Recognized for his hard-hitting and dominant presence. He's held championships in various promotions and is known for his work in NXT.
Say it again.
Hard-hitting, fair. Dominant presence, fair.
Walter?
Yes, Walter.
Gunta.
I didn't want to say Austrian wrestler.
His name's Walter, isn't it?
It says Walter.
I'm pretty sure that's
Walter.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure that's why they changed it too, because I think his real name's Walter.
Don't think you know his real name, so I'm going to give it to you for this guy. Kenneth Crawford.
Oh, I've heard that.
American wrestler known for his charismatic personality, true.
Is it Kenny?
And microphone skills.
No, wait, he's Canadian. Never mind.
Which is fair.
Oh, I know.
Notice it says nothing about his wrestling ability. It's promo skills. He has worked in various promotions, including Impact Wrestling and WWE.
Oh, I've heard that name.
It's kind of a big deal right now in WWE.
LA Knight?
Correct.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought his name was Sean Ricker.
You ready for the funniest part of this? So, as of my last knowledge update in January...
I thought his name... Are you sure that's his name?
No, it's what ChatGPT tells me. So
Sean Ricker.
Who knows?
I knew that.
Says, as of my last update, I do not have information about a wrestler named JD McDonough. So not even ChatGPT just everyone disrespects JD McDonough.
That's horrible.
I loved it.
That's poor JD McDonough, man. Can't catch a break. And everyone's calling him a Funko Pop because his head's not even that big.
That's funny. It's pretty big relative to his shoulders.
I don't
care.
Get it.
And he can't help it.
I don't get that.
American wrestler known for his tenure.
If you tried Jordan Devlin, because that's his name.
In WWE's NXT brand. He is celebrated for his technical abilities and emotional storytelling. I would say
Gargano?
Yes, I'd say that is accurate.
Is that that's not his name?
Real name? I don't know. You're obsessed with the real names now.
Well, because
they didn't put him for all of them. I'll give you this guy's real name. Real name James Sipperly, I believe it's pronounced. American wrestler.
Gargano, that's his name, yeah.
American wrestler known for his laid-back comedic persona.
Riddle?
No. Gained... I said someone
Cassidy?
You really like that current... Yes. Gained popularity for his unique wrestling style characterized by his nonchalant approach.
What did you say his name was?
James Sipperly. Cipper.
That is quite the name. That is the name.
Here's a fun one. Adam Bridle.
Oof.
Recognized for his high-flying and acrobatic in-ring style. Competed in various promotions, including Lucha Underground. I'll give you his origin. A South African wrestler that we love. Both of us.
South African. Oh, Angelico?
Correct.
Okay, so when I think African, I always think like a black African. So I'd never think of him.
No, you
Adam,
can't
that
think
is
that
his
way.
name.
Yep. Professional wrestler associated with New Japan. He's known for his technical prowess and has held championships, including IWGP Heavyweight Championship, currently in AEW.
Jay White.
Correct.
Okay, it was either him or
From
Ospreay.
New Zealand.
When it was New Japan, it was either him or Ospreay.
Canadian, wrestler with a successful career in WWE and Impact Wrestling, known for tag team work, held multiple singles championships as well.
Canadian.
Currently in AEW.
Christian?
Correct. Couldn't give the real name. We know that one.
Jay Leno.
Last one.
Jay Rizzo.
Jay Leno.
That's
a late night host.
Yeah, no, I know.
Back in the day.
From WCW?
Right, that's right.
Nailed it.
American wrestler associated with AEW. Last one. Known for his unique personality and daredevil in-ring style.
Darbyth.
Correct. Become a prominent figure in the promotion, holding the TNT. So they did a pretty good job. Fairly accurate.
Except for Jamie McDonough.
A couple mistakes, but that's funny. Not even ChatGPT that's supposed to know everything knows
ChatGPT is stupid. We know they make mistakes. We've established they make so many mistakes. So I'm gonna credit it to that. Jamie McDonough deserves his due respect.
Good job on that. We'll turn our attention back to some wrestling from the week, where we talk about what we liked and didn't like from whatever we watched. It's Highspots and Restholds. All right, you're fired up. You want to hit SmackDown?
This is dumb. Cody's an idiot. This is ridiculous. Okay, so Cody, I peeped a thing. First off, Highspot Dunn was wrestling and he won again with Bate. So yay, Pete Dunne.
Highspot B-Fab's back and aligned with Lashley.
That's laughable. That makes me chuckle. That is honestly funny, and I will find that later.
But then the big thing,
also
Bailey the story is not going to finish at Mania.
So, am I missing something?
The Rock is back, and we're getting Rock and Reigns.
Cody's
stepping aside.
Cody's doing his whole spiel about he has to finish the story. He has to win that title because his dad never won it. Great, been there. We got that. And then leaves
the ring.
But then he's like, but not at WrestleMania. Then why Jenner the Rumble, Cody? And then he leaves for the Rock to
Because doesn't winning the Rumble mean you're in the main event of Mania?
Yes.
So then what is he going to do?
I don't know.
They can't make a liar. Although then they do that whole thing where every match at WrestleMania is a main event. And that'll be their loophole.
It's not even that he's not main eventing, because there's been plenty of times Rollins won the Rumble and he opened the show.
Well, but I told you I would laugh, and I will laugh because
start laughing.
Cody, so dumb.
He'll
be back in AEW soon.
I don't even like Cody, but I'm just annoyed because it's just do the thing already. I don't get it. It really doesn't make sense to me.
I just love, because to me the message is, because you know how I always think Cody has this inflated sense of his place in wrestling and his importance.
I mean, he ended racism.
And it's okay, so you won the Rumble for the second year in a row. This is a huge deal. You're going to finish the story. Oh, wait, Rock's willing to come. They could get back burner.
Why can't they just do Rock Roman one night and then Cody the other night?
I have zero interest in Rock Roman.
That's what I'm saying.
Zero.
Love him or hate him, you can at least admit Cody finishing the story. It's that's the right thing to do, and that makes sense.
Yeah.
What is the point of Rock and Roman other than
Rock?
Yes, but why can't you do a non-title in Australia or something? Why? I don't understand.
Oh, they won't use The Rock other than Mania.
Or then why can't you do that without jeopardizing the story? Because it's stupid.
It's hilarious to me.
It's so stupid, and
I love it.
It's just dumb.
I love it.
It's just stupid.
Did you not have any Raw excitement?
No, but Pete Dunne was wrestling, so all is fine in the world.
All right, let's talk about some NXT. I don't think you watched any this week. I don't think you were around. And watched is a strong word anyways. You weren't in the room, I don't think, for any of it. But anyways, opening match was probably the best match on the show, if I remember correctly. It was the Dusty Road semifinals. So it's Mello and Trick taking on the LWO, which is Cruz del Toro, even though I'll call him by his FKA, Raul Mendoza. For some reason, that sticks in my head. And Joaquin Wilde, really good opening match. Wilde and del Toro are really good. I told you they did a double coast to coast with somebody in the Tree of Woe at some point. Del Toro's really good, man. It's just too bad he has, I think that's the look and whatever that's holding him back, because the man is awesome in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, Wilde attempts a springboard attack. Mello hits him with a code breaker. Trick tags in. Mello clotheslines Cruz out of the ring. Trick knee to Wilde, and it's over after 13 minutes. So it's Braun and Corbin taking on Trick and Mello at Vengeance Day. And then, again, I'm assuming the Trick Mello thing comes to a head. Maybe it's going to cost them the Dusty Cup. Who knows? But after the match, did you hear what happened after the match? I did not enjoy this. Oba Femi.
Oh,
so remember how Oba's okay, seems like he's a heel. Nope, now he seems like he's a face. Well, he attacks a babyface group after the match, so I assume that puts him in a heel camp. Dragon Lee comes out to try and make the save, but Oba Femi takes out all three and stands tall. Why the hell do I now believe Dragon Lee has a chance against Oba Femi when Oba Femi just killed him and two of his buddies in 40 seconds?
No. He's toasted. I did see that, actually.
I hated that decision. It feels like the classic WWE, WCW, but he's so big and they're so small, right? So how could those three small guys possibly?
That's they're always like
it's
that.
It's like when Kevin Nash murdered every single one of the cruiserweight division.
That does sound like something Kevin Nash would do.
Infuriated me. So I guess maybe you're trying to clearly establish Femi as a heel, but he just decimated three people, including the guy he's challenging.
Why can't you at least
And it's not like Dragon Lee was beaten down from a match. He came out fresh.
It still sucks, but maybe have him take out the LWO guys and then Dragon Lee runs him off, so at least he looks good.
He killed them all.
Yes, it would still suck for LWO, but then at least it's the guy who actually matters to your program is still protected, but not even that.
It makes it feel like the match, like Femi's and I think Femi is winning, and I don't think there's any way
it's not like they're gonna hot
but
potato it, but
no.
Still.
Oh well.
You could protect it a little.
I thought you could, but I guess not. Ridge Holland was shown talking to GM Ava about wanting to face all of Gallus later.
Youngest GM in history.
Because remember, his story is he has no friends and no one to help him do anything. Lexus King walks in with some merchandise and photos for Ava to congratulate her on her new position, which I thought was pretty funny. King says he wants to talk to Ava about his future. Ava says she has an idea for tonight. King will face Holland later in the show. Ava gives the basket of merch to Holland, who gives it back to King because nobody wants his stuff, which I thought was funny, right? The pictures of himself and some of his merch. The rest of this was pretty standard. I do kind of like that it's hard to predict a winner in that match because both of them are sort of getting some focus right now. So that's nice because that's something AEW has been lacking for several weeks now. Earlier today, Tatum Paxley was being creepy with a photo of her and Lyra, like caressing it with a feather. I think she always has this feather.
She's got that really fake looking bird.
She does. She tries to text Lyra again, the idea being she's like spamming the text to Lyra and Lyra's not responding, I guess. Lyra walks in, says she got all of the messages. She asked Tatum why Tatum attacked Roxanne last week, and Paxley says that she was doing what Lyra wanted. And Lyra says she didn't want that. So I think the idea is I think Lyra said something like she's too focused on Roxanne to deal with Paxley right now. And so Paxley,
she's trying to take the focus
through
off.
Paxley's filter, that was like, well, then you need to take out Perez and then I'll have time to deal with you, right? So I like it that she's got this sort of, she's unhinged a little bit, right? Lyra says she didn't want that, says Tatum can't fight her battles for her. Paxley says that when she takes out Perez, Lyra will be the NXT Women's Champion forever. Paxley leave. Lyra sees the photo and is like, oh, come on. Paxley's doing a good job as the creepily obsessed character. In a place where like so many people are presented generically, at least she's got some defining characteristics to her, right, at this point. So then we get a match right away. It's Roxanne and Tatum Paxley. Basically starts during a commercial, which I thought is a pretty crazy decision to make. Lyra's on commentary. And I feel like, because I keep typing Lyra, don't you feel like she'll get main rostered and just be Lyra? There's no way they're going to say Valkyria all the time.
Oh, yeah. That's a name made for main roster butchering, yeah.
And so I feel like they're just going to go, this is Lyra.
That's true, yeah.
Especially since they've distanced herself from like the bird thing.
That's a name made for main roster.
I think so, right?
For sure.
I felt like it. Roxy to the top. She gets crotched by Tatum, who gets Roxy on her shoulders. Roxy, I keep calling her Roxy too.
I know, that's weird. You've like reverted back.
Roxanne escapes, hits Pop Rocks, and it's over. Only 5 minutes. Didn't think it was bad. Paxley actually strung some non-basic moves together, which a lot of the brand new women can't do, so she looks pretty good in comparison, I thought. Tatum attacks Roxanne after the match. Roxanne ends up on the offensive. Lyra Valkyria steps in to defend Paxley, kind of out of instinct, I think. Roxanne and Lyra have a stare down while Paxley is, I thought she did a good job of selling she's like still on the ground, I think. And she's like thrilled that like her idol has come and saved her, right? So she's loving that. I think Lyra Roxanne will be pretty good. I still don't fully grasp the dynamic, right? Like it's two baby faces, but one's edgy now, I guess.
One's edgy and one has a weird sidekick.
Right, one has a psychotic sidekick. But anyways, Ariana Grace is trying to give Ren Sinclair advice basically about sounding more civilized and less like a hillbilly. When Fallon Henley walks in and kind of confronts Grace, Grace says Fallon's disrespectful and presumptuous. Fallon says she's going to get a match made. Again, Grace doing well in this character. And Henley's kind of an obvious foil for her, right? You've got this stuck-up, prim and proper beauty queen, and then the farm girl.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Lola Vice basically squashes Elektra Lopez. I was a little bit surprised. Less than 3 minutes. Black Mass did not look great, or whatever she calls it.
Yeah, it don't hit the same.
I did expect Vice to win since Lopez is main roster, but I didn't think it would be this quick. I still
just wanted to like fast track.
Lopez has something, but she has not impressed me in the ring the last couple times. But she's new too, right? So who knows?
She's been there a decent while though.
She has.
I don't know.
And she's got an MMA background, so they should just automatically be awesome.
Who? Which one?
Apparently, Lola.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Lopez.
No. Multiple segments throughout the show with Dijak and Gacy kind of brawling all over the place. Started with Gacy interrupting Dijak as Dijak studying tape and doing the whole like, doesn't matter what you do, you'll never get rid of me, etc., etc. just to skip forward, this culminates in their fighting on top of a trailer, a la Orton and Edge vibes.
Oh, the best match that's ever. A good pull, yeah. No, that was the one before that.
Oh, was it?
Sorry. That was the 50-minute, not 50-minute, but what felt like a 50-minute last man standing match in an empty arena.
Right.
That one.
Gacy ends up getting kicked into a dumpster. Long story short, their match will be no DQ at Vengeance Day, so that could be fun. Lexis King ended up defeating Ridge Holland with a super kick and a coronation. This time he was draping in the ropes in under 10 minutes. It's because Gallus, my editorial looking like bees. I hate their black and white striped like rugby jerseys or whatever they wear. They look like bees to me. It's crazy. They get involved a couple times, including leading into the finish. About what you would expect from these two, passable but not great. Gallus then attack Ridge post-match, bring chairs to the ring. Holland's leg in a chair, hit with another chair. I guess they're driving home the point that Ridge has no friends and you can just attack him and no one will ever come to help him.
Nobody. Not Pete Dunne.
So Lexis King picking up a win, actually. Impressive. Mello and Trick are celebrating in the locker room. Trick says he was surprised to see Mello at Rumble. Kind of like, I'm supposed to be your buddy. Shouldn't I know these things, right? And then immediately Mello says, I was surprised to see you at on SmackDown. It's like, touche kind of thing, right?
Potato.
Mello says he doesn't trust Ilya and is just looking out for Trick and himself. And their first end goal, which is a football reference if you don't know, and he's about to get that NXT championship, but he can't let Ilya get in his head. Trick says he knows who Ilya is, and they've been dancing around each other, but he'll settle it tonight. Mello says Trick will be in the ring tonight and then realize that what Mello has been saying about Ilya is right. So again, good interaction between these two, good chemistry. So many baby steps towards the end of this, which I think is coming. Family, they're out walking again. Guess what? They don't like OTM. They're talking a lot of talk about Rizzo again. She solves problems. She's tough. She's violent. Whatever. She spoke and you missed it. I know she's your favorite.
No, she's like the worst thing I've ever heard.
They are cartoon characters, right? And then it's weird because they're taking on a group that's actually trying to pull off like we're tough guys from the streets, but then you're wrestling cartoon characters, so it doesn't
fit either group.
The family just are ridiculous, and they just kind of don't work for me at this point. Even though I think Stax is cool. Fallon's working out, kind of like doing the little. I think we're using one of those bands they all do before their matches to get their pump on. Brooks Jensen walks in and talks. He's trying to like reminisce with Fallon a little bit, like he's lonely or whatever. And he's like, he's wondering if they could. And then Fallon Henley has her match, so they'll have to talk later. And she just kind of walks away, and he looks sort of upset. I guess he's just lonely, and Henley has no time for him. She's moved on to. It's because Ren came in, I think.
Yeah. Well, and Briggs left him too.
Yes, exactly. Chase you in the ring. Ready for your claim to fame here, buddy?
Yes.
We get it's basically
greatest call in my young life.
Like a funeral for Chase U, I guess. They're dressed in black, and it's a big highlight montage of all the stuff that happened, including like Thea Hale signing and blah blah blah. But wait, JC Jane to the rescue with a whole bunch of women, most of whom I have no idea who they are. And you were right. Despite being 2024, it's a calendar. My understanding is in 2024, it is really hard to find images of attractive women. Like it's virtually impossible.
I've never done that in my life.
Right.
It's
impossible to do.
I couldn't even do it right now.
So what better option than buying a calendar? Like it's the analog era. So to me, like
the malls like sell them, but
I'm
who does that?
But like the ridiculous universe that Chase U exists in, it kind of makes sense, right? It doesn't really bother me.
I guess, but like, even still.
JC says projected sales will not only save Chase U, so in storyline, this is a university that suffered enough debt to go bankrupt. This calendar is going to do more than that.
It's going to sell enough to get them not only out of that, but also
the
profitable.
Promised land.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you not only have to get out of whatever debt they have, which is hundreds of thousands, right?
That's right.
But it's also got to be profitable.
And it's this calendar. So they'll make money, and the calendar goes on sale this Sunday at Vengeance Day.
How like
launch them into the next decade?
Is the NXT roster like as creepy and horny as Vince and Laurinaitis or something? Like
I don't know.
And is that a bad reference to make already?
No, it's fine. Chase is speechless. Hugs JC. Says that
you did it.
He had his doubts, but she is definitely part of Chase U.
No.
This was far too long, and the fact that in 2024 a calendar can save a university from bankruptcy is funny.
That might be one of the most far-fetched things they've done.
But again, it makes sense in their stupid universe, so it's okay. Ariana Grace actually picks up a win over Fallon Henley in their match, right? Jakara Jackson is causing a distraction.
Beautiful finish. What a finish.
And Lash hits a pump kick to Fallon.
After like a double take from Fallon.
After a what?
Remember she like looked over and then like kind of walked.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
I forgot you were there for that. Yeah, the timing wasn't great. Like, it was supposed to be like Lash surprised Henley. And I think the idea was Henley's going to turn around into a boot. But it's like she's looking up the ramp. Too early and Lash has to like
run down.
Yeah, it wasn't great. But I think this was a creative way to sort of give Grace a win, and she'll talk about this like she won legitimately against like an experienced woman, and I like that.
You do.
I thought it was clever. Heritage Cup match, Noam Dar retained after winning 2-0 in the 4th round. So Vaughn dominated the first round, and remember it ended with those really weak strikes. You were there for some of
that was...
So he starts to untape his hand, like I guess going for the knockout, but like he barely pulls off enough tape, and then his strikes looked crappy too.
Gave up halfway.
Dar hit the Nova Roll in the second round to go up 1-0. Round 3 was the good old commercial break round for the most of it. And then Dar ended up just countering a roll-up. A roll-up countered for the win. He did like a jackknife, I think it was. Anyways, surprised that he just won clean, which I think is an awesome decision. So I was very happy with that. Dar mocked Stone's kids after the match because they were in the front row, which made me laugh too. So he barely escapes, but Mensah gets got and he gets tabled by Vaughn. So I think this was really well done because Noam Dar deserves to be protected because he's awesome.
I love Dar.
The Heritage Cup needs to stay with him because it just works.
Also, the Metaphor entrance is beautiful.
All people really wanted of Vaughn is him tabling people, which they got, right? It didn't even go like, and this is one of those, it didn't go 1-1. He won 2 straight against the big dominant monster. So I like that he got the decisive win, and all people want from Vaughn is that table, and they got it. So I don't know where Vaughn goes from here, but at least he didn't beat Noam Dar.
He doesn't have to go anywhere.
He doesn't have to go anywhere, no. Trick and Ilya face-to-face in the ring for the final segment. Trick won't shake hands right away, accuses Dragunov of playing with him, right? So it's kind of like Melo's been getting in his head. And somebody else is telling him the same thing, too.
Probably Lexus, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was Lexus. Ilya points out that he only offered the match to Trick for Vengeance Day, and Trick was the one who accepted it, which is fair, right? He didn't force him or anything. Ilya says he did play mind games with Corbin, but that's because Corbin made it personal by referencing his family. Ilya says Trick is not focused and doesn't know who to trust. His and Trick's rivalry actually made Trick more of the man he is today than Melo ever did. Trick says to leave Melo out of it. Ilya says it's not about Melo, it's about Trick. If Trick shows any weakness in their match, Ilya will destroy him and everything he built, which is probably true.
Yep.
Trick says no one, not even the Mad Dragon, can destroy what he built. He's not the same as before, and he's building the world on his destiny. Ilya loves the look on Trick's face, and he knows Trick will give him everything. Trick will end up writing history on Sunday, just not the history that he thought he would. Trick says, may the best man win. He extends his hand. Ilya takes it and hugs him as well. Braun and Corbin then come in and randomly attack, I guess trying to take out half of their opponents for the Dusty Cup. Carmelo Hayes comes out and makes the save, but he gets overwhelmed. Trick saves Melo instead, and they send Braun and Corbin over the top. Officials hold them back. Trick turns around to look at Ilya, who talks to him as Melo watches off to the side. So kind of like Melo tries to save, but Trick ends up doing the saving. Good final segment. Dragunov making a lot of good points, coming off well as the honorable babyface who just wants the best out of his challenger. Trick is pulling off the I'm a little bit distracted and don't know who to trust coming into the big match of his life when he's supposed to be dialed in, right? He's not. And I think the idea is Melo has insidiously sort of
it'll probably cost him, right?
I think so,
some
right?
sort of way.
I imagine. And then shifting into TNA, forgot to mention partly because I had to go and look for it because the totally legal methods I used to watch TNA did not have the Ali premiere or debut because it was after they did the whole thing where the TNA logo.
You mean when you watched it perfectly normally on Access TV?
Correct. They did it the way NXT used to do it, and I loved it. Right, the show's done, and then there's something you had to keep
Although that kind of varies.
For years, I would watch NXT up until the very last second, just because because
of things like Gargano and Ciampa,
right?
And turns like that and whatever. Yeah.
So he he did make his debut last week in a vignette where you're right, he is doing that politician character that I thought was pretty interesting. So anyways, the show starts after recaps of the week before, and the first thing commentary refer to is that Jordynne Grace appeared in the Royal Rumble, and I was curious as to like how much they would talk about it and how much billing.
A lot.
But again, the totally normal way that I watch TNA, there's a little bit of stuff cut out this week, so I missed a couple things. But
I mean, when you watch it on Access TV like everyone else?
Right. When I watch it on Access TV like everyone else, the Jordynne Grace vignette was gone. But anyways, Nick Nemeth, Trey Miguel in the opener. He beat Wentz last week, and he took out Trey after the match, leading to this. Wentz distractions several times, get Trey the advantage early. Trey fakes an injury at one point, so Wentz can do some more damage to Nemeth behind the ref's back. Rascals cheat throughout. Wentz eventually gets sent to the back. Super kick for the win. Didn't even hit the, what was it, danger zone?
That's not, zigzag's not good either, but at least it was like in his name.
Macklin attacks Nemeth after the match. Super kick, KIA, and the heels stand tall.
KIA?
I forget what it stands for. It's not the cool finisher he had before. It's different now. I forget what he had before. I remember he had the spear in the corner, which I loved.
But that wasn't a finisher.
No,
that was like a setup.
But now the KIA is a DDT based thing.
Kill in something.
Solid opening match. Nemeth gets another quality win because he's doing the whole like, I'm not here to jump in line, I'm here to earn my spot. So he's got to win a bunch of matches. Can't just get thrown in like Deonna Purrazzo into a championship. I think I preferred last week's match against Wentz, but this was still good. Nemeth's match with Macklin will be a step up from the Rascals, I guess. And later we get a backstage segment where it almost implies the Rascals and Macklin are becoming a unit. And they bump into Speedball backstage, and Macklin stops Wentz from getting in Bailey's face, and then they just leave. So seems like Macklin may be aligning himself with the Rascals and like leading them almost, which is a weird combination. Because you've got, they're like
Macklin's like
the party weed-smoking dudes, and
like,
he's like the straight-laced military guy.
They're both heels, but they're completely different heels.
So it's weird.
It'd be like... Okay,
it'd be like Riddle and Imperium. A little bit.
If Riddle was a heel, yeah.
Right. Khan speaks the truth about the design, at least, and Diener's not happy about it. He's basically like, we keep rebuilding and redoing and getting nowhere kind of thing, which
new
is like,
design, same result.
Amen, brother. Yeah. So, and Khan seems to be like taking over. He's like, I'm kind of done. And he says he's the most dangerous man in TNA, and it starts tonight. So thank God they're abandoning.
Khan solo run?
Oh, please. Wait till you see who his feud is with. Yeah, it's exciting.
Oh, God.
So at least the designer done, but a Khan push in a singles run is not something I'm asking for. But Decay needs to follow suit about the disbanding thing. Get on that. And speaking of which, Decay squashed a couple local jobbers.
Yeah, but do you want Jessica Havoc in solo matches?
No, I just want them gone.
I don't know if a split would make them gone, or they would just have matches against each other.
They become their alter egos again, because that was amazing too. I guess if I have to see Decay, at least it was over quickly. Then MK Ultra are shown picture in picture wanting a rematch against Decay. And I guess this is my note. Decay are about as fresh as month-old bread. And I noticed a new female
ref. They're as fresh as decayed bread.
Yes. There's a new female ref, I believe, because I didn't recognize her. MK Ultra want the rematch. Danny Luna, and the logic here was flawed too, because they're basically like, yeah, but we did so good in the Ultimate X that we deserve the match. But MK Ultra were champions, and usually there's rematches. But anyways.
No, makes sense.
So we get the first, I know you've been waiting, the first edition is Sound Check with Alan Angels. Do you remember who the first guest was going to be?
Sound Check sounds so familiar. It was like...
It's because he's like the leading man, or the front man is his gimmick. So it's all rock and roll.
I'm thinking of Smog Check from the School of Rock show.
His first guest is Josh Alexander.
Riveting.
Long story short, Angels seems to be implying he's like, your rise to the top, you have to step on a lot of toes and whatever. And Alexander, like, do a lot of things. And Alexander's like, no, man, I kind of am honorable. I just, like, fought in the ring really hard and blah, blah, blah. And I guess Angels is saying that he doesn't say himself specifically, but he's like, you owe people some whatever. And he's like, who? And it's kind of implying himself, right? So he thinks Alexander is ungrateful about something. Alexander and myself have no idea what he's talking about. Angel says Alexander's setting a bad example for his son. Alexander's like, that crosses the line, and he just leaves.
Oh, it does. It crossed the line like TNA.
So I guess the point is Angels is making this about himself instead of interviewing the guy. I don't really know. Angels was fine, but it's not the clearest debut of a new segment. Like, he's a heel, obviously.
Was it in ring or is it
No, it was like a backstage sit down sort of thing. Brian Myers, Kevin Knight, picture-in-picture promo for Knight. He has friends in TNA too, he says, because obviously he's anticipating the system getting involved.
Who's he friends with other than Kushida?
That's who he's friends with. He needs to lose the Hitman sunglasses, was my comment. We're told we'll get a behind the scenes on Jordan Grace at the Rumble later, but that's part I don't get on Access TV.
There you go.
I did notice Alyssa's like trying to dress classy now, like in a cocktail dress, if that's the right word, being a guy who wears sweatpants and t-shirts at work. It's hard to make me comment on classy clothes. Knight goes off the top. Myers gets out of the way, hits the roster cut for the win. Solid match, good contrast to styles, super athletic and like steady hand sort of ground attack guy. The system looked to attack after the match, but it is Kushida comes out and the heels have to retreat.
But it's one guy. Is he serious, Kushida?
No, he wasn't.
Then why are you running away?
And I'm hoping now this time the affiliation is more like they're equals instead of like he's this young boy for Kushida, right? Because it's time to elevate Knight. He's cool. Enough of him being a protege. Let's get him to be a contemporary, if that's the term. Mustafa Ali vignette interrupts a Sabin interview. He's here to lead the fearful. People are afraid of change, etc. And he approves this message, which is the political sort of sign off for many people. And the good hands are now there, and they're touting Ali as the next X Division champion. Sabin's not happy, challenges Skylar to a match next week. Skylar hopes that Ali will be watching. So how would you feel about the good hands being affiliated with Ali?
Yeah, that doesn't sound good. Maybe it works. Depends if he's
their name. They can't be the good hands then, right? Yeah. Like, get a new name. I don't mind them being the tag team led by Ali, to be honest, but not as the good hands.
Yeah, that's
I like
fair.
Both of the guys in the pair, but they need to be tweaked a little bit. Kaz to the ring to explain why he turned on Eric Young, because we're all so curious. He talks about choosing to return to TNA, and he even mentions that in that hokey, remember TNA's returning, he was the guy that went into the water to get out the what was it, briefcase or whatever. So reminding me of that funny little thing. He says he's given more to TNA than anyone can imagine. He's tired of being overlooked and watching others get opportunities. He mocks the fans, says that the hero has become the monster. He's picking on Eric Young because Eric Young is the heartbeat and the lifeblood of TNA.
Is he?
So Kaz is targeting him first. Then the fans have permission to hate him now. I guess
permission.
Fine for being his first words as a heel. He does get passed over a lot, and EY does get a million opportunities. But they got to follow this up with some decisive actions because Kaz is not a natural heel, right? So they got to do something to he's really not.
No,
and his offense is
at least not in this day and age either. It's like more so that he's just like kind of old and not cool.
I was just watching.
It's kind of mean sounding, but like
watching some old TNA to fall asleep last night, and I don't know what year it was. It was the first 2-hour episode.
Was he in Fortune?
And they did a battle royal.
Reverse battle royal?
No, and man, there was a lot of talent I loved at that point. There's a lot of cool wrestlers there. Anyways, another Ash
was one of them.
Another Ash by Elegance vignette with the same dramatic voiceover and like meaningless praise, which I think is quite funny. The problem is,
it's probably not supposed to be.
It might be, but at some point, some point the bell's gonna ring, or they're gonna give her a microphone, and neither of those things are gonna be good.
Yeah, this is relying on her not doing anything.
This character is peaking right now when she doesn't speak or wrestle.
Yeah.
And I'm not even trying to be mean, but that's just true, I think.
That's fair, because she's not good.
So that's not good, but I have laughed at the vignettes. Diener's in the ring now, talking about the design being dead and it won't come back to life. Cut to PCO's ridiculous reanimation thing before he enters now. And they have a match as commentary. Tell us Diener is on his own, so guess what? PCO squashes Diener.
Is confusing with PCO?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a dream.
I just
sorry, did you say dream match? Dream match?
That is what I was referring to.
You said dream match.
That's what I just said, yeah. Dream match.
PCO salt in maybe a minute. Khan comes out, attacks PCO.
So he's not on his own because he's attacking the guy who just beat his...
Helps Diener to his feet, only to take him out with a clothesline and an aggressive neck snap. Killed the man.
Oh, like the Fiend.
So he's dead. Khan then suffocates.
Well, you think he's dead, but
and guess who's cashing
guess who
in
else
on
was dead?
pop culture? He's doing the claw.
Oh,
the Von Erich claw. So he does like a skull palming slam and then like squeezes him or suffocates him.
I think Great O'Con used to do that. He did like the vice grip.
Yeah,
that's not a vice grip, is it? Or is, he did the Iron Claw choke slam, I think.
I'm not sure they could have planned a feud that I would care less about than these two plodding, uninteresting monsters. I can't imagine.
You can't make it up.
Dalla's backstage trying to convince Swan that he should let him help him.
Khan should go after Top Dalla.
Swan says no again. Then Rhino enters and basically tells him to F off. No one wants Dalla's help.
Khan and PCO, and then you do Rhino and Top Dalla. Boom.
Not sure what they're doing with Dalla. I guess the idea is he's offering his clout and visibility, right? Like, hey, why wouldn't you want me?
What clout?
I don't know.
Who cares about Top Dalla?
Basically the same as last week with a cameo from Rhino this week. So not good. Recap I referred to had Jordan Grace interview and a Masha Jody threat match that Masha won quickly apparently. But the feed I watched on Access TV did not have either of these things. So straight to the main event. Which is the first match.
God damn you, Access TV.
First match in a best of 3 series. It's Grizzled Young Veterans taking on ABC. So it's the story of this, right, is Grizzled Young Veterans are trying to slow things down. ABC is trying to pick up the pace and fly around the ring. A couple notable things. I like the match, but I don't want to go move for move and stuff I'm quickly recapping that no one watches. A dangerous kind of looking driver that was wrist control by Austin to Drake in the middle of this. Nice running drop kick by Drake as Gibson was holding Austin in the corner. You can hear Gibson at one point berating Ace Austin near the end of this, and it's great because it's like classic Gibson, right? Like
Gibson's great at that, yeah.
He is. Excuse me. Bay dives to the floor. Drake runs him into the steps. Austin's alone, holds his own for a bit before Drake uses a scarf to quickly choke and like pull him backwards onto the mat. Grit your teeth. Grizzled Young Veterans win the first match in the series.
It is not as good as their old finisher. It's not bad, but it's like...
It's definitely no ticket to mayhem.
It feels like a finisher they should use if they can't lift the guy, you know, not in where they're facing ABC.
And in TNA, they'll be able to lift everybody, basically.
Yeah.
Very good tag team match and main event, but it does feel like they're saving something for future matches, and that makes sense in a best of 3 series, right? It's kind of like this is the appetizer and the main event is still to come. Again, really happy with the presentation of Grizzled Young Veterans. They're thrown in top of the tag team card, winning their first match against the champs. So I think that's great. It's just establishing them as an important team, which they are and should be, right? So the crowd was into this. It's nice to see. Personally, I really enjoy seeing legit established tag teams in the main event of a wrestling show. Really like that. We need more
when it's earned, we love that.
So that's it for me, and we already talked about SmackDown to start.
Anything else? I didn't get to watch anything interesting.
Did you get anything for figuring this week?
No.
All right, well, that's going to wrap us up, and that's okay. We just hit 2.5 hours, and I need to go to bed to drive about 2 hours each way for your brother's basketball games tomorrow. Off to Niagara Falls tomorrow.
Mom said you're gone like all day.
We're gone like all day, so you are on your own, right? You're going to don't miss me too much, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
So, thanks for taking some time out of your week to listen to us talk about some wrestling. We'll be back next Saturday for episode 186, and the worst of is coming at some point. I don't know when.
Even though it's a little late, but we will still
do it. That's okay. It's a nice little... Everyone else did theirs right on time. People have had time to digest.
Yeah, once the hype's died down and it doesn't matter much, then we'll do it.
That's right, because we were all about promoting ourselves.
We strike when the iron's hot.
We absolutely do. So see you next Saturday for 186. Until then, everybody, take care.